on there. There we are. I hit the wrong button. I hit off again, even though my audio was already off, so I was still off. Glad I looked. Hi, guys. How's it going? So today, hello and welcome to the truly Odin Makes live stream. It is just me today. My plan was, or my thought was, when Felicia and I talked about it last week, that I was going to be going out of town today. I was going to go on a trip. Well, I didn't get everything done that I needed to get done, and it just kind of worked out that I wasn't really going to be able to go on the trip and make the rest of the things I had to have happen. So my trip got postponed, canceled, whatever. I'll go again another time. I'll get a chance to go again. It wasn't that critical. It's not like I'm missing out on a life-changing, once-in-a-lifetime event, so not a big deal. But Felicia made some solid plans and then wasn't going to change those on her, so it's just me. Hi, guys. Welcome again to the Odin Makes live stream as I continue to just try to make this up all on my own. Hi, I'm Odin, and let me double check. Yes, we're currently unlisted. That is good. So the first 45 minutes of this is going to be just for you guys, just for my patron members. Anyone who happens to be watching in the future, this first 45 minutes is reserved as a private view time just for my Patreon members, because it's a big thank you to all of you guys. It's a big thank you to the Patreon members. My Patreon support literally is what makes this show possible, and that's not lip service. That's not some sort of thing that you've heard on other television channels. The Patreon support pays the rent for where I'm at, because I don't do this out of my garage. I don't have space at home to be able to do this program. I can only do it out of a shop of some sort, and I've moved around a couple of times. I was doing it out of Zot's for a little while there a few years ago, if you remember. He appeared on the channel when the set changed, is when I moved, which was what, late 2018. But from that time forward, I was paying the rent to be here at the Sacramento Media Center. So thank you. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you. That support is, well, everything. Without the patron support, I wouldn't be able to have a channel, and that's not lip service. That's not an exaggeration. Thank you guys very, very much. So Jerry Rig Props pops in with a first. Boom! I mean, he was right there. Hey, Jerry, how's it going? How's life treating you? Hopefully well. I know you had a small life-changing event concerning employment here recently, so I hope things are working out well for you. Ralph is also excited to see us scream out first, which, you know, it's always tough to be the first one to type in first, depending on where you are in terms of the stream and latency and whatnot. And what's fun is both of you guys are on the other side of the planet from me. I'm broadcasting live from California. Jerry's in Ireland, and Ralph is in the Netherlands. So thank you guys. One of the things that I think is really exciting and fun for me is the fact that I have a global audience. There's the train. No camera. I should set the camera up. Do you guys miss the train cam? That was a thing, but I was kind of concerned that it became this weird inside joke that anyone new popping in didn't understand, and it would be kind of weird. So it was short. It was probably Amtrak. So train cam kind of fell away. Anyway, back to world audience, which is just really exciting that I get to do this. I get to share what my passions for building, what my film building ideas are. The things that I used to do to entertain myself when I wasn't working, I can actually share with a global audience, and that is astounding. Trust me, it's amazing that I can make friends through the internet and have people that I can talk to and share my art with on a literally global level. It's really very interesting. Princess Squib says, morning, everyone. Jumped ahead. Eric Gordon is here. And let's see. Oh, Leah Jones says hi. I'm not going to read. I can read everything, but you guys are reading it too. Oh, Jay Period, sweet. I know on Discord, Jay was talking about how he's working on his Dark Saber Hilt. One of the posts he talked about was he's not sure if he's going to make he's got a full Mando cosplay, and he actually has my Pulse Ambien rifle. Ambien, right? That's what it is. The phase pulse rifle, whichever. Yeah, I'm saying it wrong now. The Mandalorian rifle. So he's making himself a dark saber hilt. He doesn't think he's going to make the full blade. He just wants to make the hilt and wear it on his belt, which I can appreciate because the blade is something extra. It's not a typical blade. Eric says, it's our pleasure. Thank you, Eric. It's our pleasure, Odin. Jerry said, all things considered, Jerry is doing really good. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, hey, Detlef P made it. Sweet. So let's see. What other big things have I been doing recently? Well, there's that whole Minecraft thing. I'm sure, a couple of you noticed I seem to spend a lot of time in Minecraft. And I'll be honest, I probably spend a little too much time in Minecraft. So I'm going to have to really work on reining back on my obsession. But I've been having a lot of fun. I ended up building my really close to spawn, of course. That's where I wanted to build my base. And I'm overlooking the Sacramento Media Center in Minecraft. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's watching this in the future, I'm talking about Minecraft. Why? Because one of the Patreon levels we have is set up to be able to join our private Minecraft server, which is in survival mode, and it's just us playing right now. I think there's less than 50 people playing currently, right? There's like 40 something, I think, that have access. There's fewer than even that are actually playing. But it's fun. I set up my base and then decided that I wanted my own village. So I had been working on building my own village. Managed to buy a bell so I could actually, because the bell it was an important part of making a village, so on and so forth. Ultimately, if you guys can go into Minecraft and you want to run in there, I still have my skyway to what I was calling Birch Lake Village. The closest village to where I was building my home was right around the corner, kind of behind Nora's base, sort of next to Miss Mary Mac's base. There was a little village over there, and you can't, without cheats, you can't spawn your own villagers in Minecraft, right? So I wanted to get villagers to populate this village that I was building, and I could either cure zombie villagers, which was my first plan, but I was too far away from being able to brew the potions needed to be able to do that. So instead, I set up my Skyway, which is a minecart that ran along at level 79. So it came off of my ground level of my hilltop village, but the Birch Lake village is down at like 63 elevation. So this thing runs along in the air like some sort of wacky aerial monorail, jumping from Ewok tree to Ewok tree. And once I got there, it's typical Minecraft things. You kidnap a couple of villagers and hijack it back to your village, and then, hey, you guys live here now. Yeah, it's such a pleasant way to start a village. I think there's some historical accuracy there, but it worked. I've got a population problem now. I've got more villagers than I've got jobs for them. So I was one of the mountaintops on top of my base. I was converting to be a multi-floor building with a lot of beds in it, in order to facilitate, having more population. And I made a little office that I'm filling up with just cartography tables and just librarian tables, because those guys create things as trades that I actually have interest in buying, which is unknown maps and enchantment books. So if you really want to, go over to New Asgard, this is what I'm calling my village, and up on the second story inside of the Rackham and Stackham Hotel is the offices of librarians and cartographers, where you can buy their wares. I don't know. It's been fun. The other fun thing that I just did last night, Princess Squib was lucky enough to find an axolotl and gave one to me. And so I have a little underground pond in my compound. We threw him in there at first, and he promptly disappeared next time I logged back in, which was pretty disappointing. Well, last night I found him. He was still running around. He found a different pond to scamper about in. So I grabbed him up in a bucket and made a fish tank. So I've got a fish tank in the wall with the axolotl captive in it. He has not ran away from that yet, because he can't, I hope. I've got a trap door to keep him locked inside of this space. But I've got glowstone lights and a quasi-natural setting aquarium that's 3 blocks high. You can stand in front of and look at the darn thing. So if anyone wants to go in there and do a screen capture and share it to the Discord, please do. I haven't bothered to do that yet. And now, I'll quit rambling about Minecraft and go back to what the comments are. J Period says he thought about making the blade for his dark saber out of plastidote and skinned it with what the foam, but not right now, maybe someday. That makes sense. The hard thing with, so if you want to make a dark saber and you want to hang it on your belt, you're going to want to make the blade removable, right? So it becomes this, how do you go about doing that? I've been a fan, and I haven't done this with any of my costume parts yet, and I'm considering doing it with Mechagodzilla, is buying one of those, almost antiquated now, headphone extender cables. You can still get them, the little 3.5 millimeter stereo extender cables. I guess mono would probably work too. But if all it is the cable and it has a male plug, the typical headphone jack plug you're used to on one side, and then the plug that goes into on the other side, will cut it in half, and now you got a cable that you can simply connect together. So maybe, Jay, at the base of your plastizote blade, you can incorporate a mini phone jack so you can just kind of slide this blade into the battery pack of the hilt, and then the LEDs inside the plastizote can light up. But then when you want to hang it on your belt, you can undo whatever the locking mechanism is and pull the plastizote blade out, which will disconnect the headphone jack, and it'll turn off, right? Maybe? Want to know how to do it complicated? Ask Odin. Princess Squibben says, there's no such thing as too much Minecraft, Odin. Okay, yes. There is no such thing as too much Minecraft. However, there is an imbalance of what I should be getting done versus playing Minecraft. And that's where I'm at. I need to get that balance back under control. Steven is here. Okay, that's Die CH, which is ch, right? So Deitch. I swear I'm still going to say it wrong, and I'm really sorry because I've said it wrong for so long. I'm self-conscious about it, and I'm going to continue to say it wrong. But Stephen Deitch, I'm so glad that you're here and so glad that you joined. So thank you, sir. Hello, and welcome to the Odin Makes live stream, where I'm trying to ramble all on my own. Oh yeah, by the way, I'd started putting a piece onto, so I've got the head to my puppet, and inside I've got a little piece of 10 millimeter half dowel. This is the, it's just what the foam, it's just a piece of half dowel, something my fingers can get a hold of. Well, I found out I pushed it a little too bit far forward. When I start talking with it, when I'm playing with it, my fingers end up bouncing off and losing the grip. So I'm gonna glue in a secondary piece of scrap behind it as an additional speed bump. So I've got something else that I can kind of hold on to. Yep, once again. So now pretty much my fingers want to go between the two speed bumps I've got stuck inside. And I think that's going to be okay. Let's see, I don't have a big zoom, but got the mouth. So, you know, here's the head. What's going on inside Odin's head? So up in here, I've got a little piece that I glued. This is for the fingers to go, right? So I had something to hold my hand on, but I made mine with enough of a pocket that my fingers would go into it, which gives it too much slack, and I don't have enough grip just on my fingers with just this upper piece of craft foam. So up towards the front of the mouth, there's a 10 millimeter half dowel that was right where my fingertips went, and I've got a good grip when I'm not using the puppet. But as soon as I start trying to actually talk with them, my fingers fall off that 10 millimeter half dowel. And now I've got a piece of this red bit. This is 2 millimeter what the foam glued on top of a piece of 4 millimeter what the foam, so it's a 6 millimeter bump. This is just a piece of scrap. It's shaped very much like this one, where it's got a 45-degree bevel on one side and a 90-degree bevel on the other. I can't see it, but you know, I don't have my glasses on. So I got a piece of that glued up inside. Yeah, here's a hint, and the only hint I'm going to be giving for this Wednesday's video. This is a piece left over This is a piece of scrap left over on the table from the build that I was doing for this upcoming video. So anyway, that gives me a secondary speed bump. The slant is in the front, so my fingers can go over it easily, because eventually this will be covered in fabric, right? So you want to be able to put it on. And that's feeling better. That extra bit of material is definitely helping to hold on, and I like it. Ralph says, gonna check out your village and aquarium in Minecraft right now, Odin Makes. Oh, by the way, Squib was showing me that when you're making maps, you can end up making a great big mural by attaching them to item frames on a wall. So I very quickly, partly on a whim, I made a "You Are Here." I just did a basic map of my village, and luckily mine totally fit within one map. I happened to build right within one quadrant, one map section, right? Just dumb luck. I thought it looked good, but it totally filled it up. So then I did a couple around it, and then that grew. And so I've got, this is on the base of the Rackham and Stackham Hotel. I've got this giant, like, 12-piece map sort of thing. It's almost finished with a "You Are Here" sign pointed at it. It's got amphitheater seating, because I needed stairs to go down to get lower levels, right? Because it's the map is so tall it goes subsurface. Yeah, that was fun putting that together. And Ralph, part of your village is at the very top of that map, so you can actually kind of look at it and see where your village is, and then you can kind of follow the road, except for the tunnels. It disappears until it pops out, and you can see where New Asgard is, and you can see the top of the media center. You can see Nora's house and the base of the Avengers Tower that she was starting, and you can also see the line for the Skyway running over to Birch Lake Village. So yeah, fun. My map didn't quite go far enough to be able to get to Ozzy Man's compound, or his village that he was building. He's just a little too far west for the scale of my map. But you can see the road there, and someone started building just on the other side of the big bridge that I had made, because we built roads, right, going from my village to Ozzy's village, and then Ralph built a road going from his village down to my village, and then we branched off it a little bit. Like, I made a path to help connect back up to Miss Mary Max. I need to make one that runs over to Shady's house, because he's building his house right next door to mine. So you can see all those roads on the map. It's really fun. You can see Princess Squib's amethyst tree, and you can see Kara Skywalker's lava waterfall, dark tower. Yeah. What's fun is, since it's an aerial view, everything's got snow on it. It's just white. So even though Kara's built this big black castle on top of a big black mountain, it's covered in snow. So on my map, it's just all white. Let's see, Leah Jones says this, they're still working on their Samus chest plate. That's cool. I saw some of the pictures you were posting on Discord. That was looking really good. So Stephen Deitch says, yes, that is correct. I assume that means your last name. Did I actually manage to say it right more than once, maybe? Oh, hope I can remember that. Princess Squib, apartment living. Yeah, pretty much. Jerry Rig is asking if I have any hints or plans for the Halloween build. I've got a few projects that are stacked up for October. I've got a couple things that I'm trying to get done beforehand, and I've got a few things I need to get done the first couple weeks of November. That's in addition to the weekly builds, which means that as much as I was thinking about and really wanted to do something awesome like the Necronomicon, I'm not sure if I can, because of getting all the pages done. And I haven't bound a book before, and I wouldn't want to shortchange it, especially not the Necronomicon, Evil Dead Necronomicon. This year, when I'm trying to get some extra stuff done that I've currently got an NDA on, which is awesome. Hooray! Odin Makes has an NDA, my first one. Enough said. So, will I be able to share what that is later? Yeah, I can share what that is later, like later. But it is affecting me now, and it's partly why I can't go on the trip. And why getting addicted to Minecraft right now is a bad thing. But yeah, it's good. So what else do I plan to do for Halloween? I know Felicia is talking about maybe trying to do another Halloween live stream. This year we're not going to have the magic of it being Saturday night and it being a full moon and it being daylight savings. We're not going to have, I'm pretty sure it was a full moon last year. We're not going to have all that again, but we still might do it. And one of the things that Felicia was talking about was trying to do another office tour. Now we may very well just do this on the last Sunday of the month in anticipation of the Halloween live stream. That's going to depend a lot on what else is happening in the building. I'm not going to try and do a tour of the building if, like today, there happens to be someone who's here as a paid person who's working on their own stuff. I'm not going to walk around with my YouTube camera and point it at whatever it is they're doing because they probably don't want to be on camera. So that's kind of a, we'll have to find out when it gets close. So hopefully we'll be doing another haunted guided tour this Halloween with Felicia. And I'll either be on the Sunday if time is available, or maybe, no promises, probably not, another late night for us Halloween stream. Stephen Deitch says he's been making witches hats all week from foam using the template from SKS Props. Yeah, SKS Props definitely has nice templates. I like the voodoo hat he just did. I really like, the only, saying this right? The only pattern of his that I've used so far has been the Dragon Ball Z armor. And yeah, definitely easy to follow videos. I think Steve is doing a really nice job with his channel, and I really like his foam. Not gonna lie, I like the HD foam. Artman 2019 says, hello, fellow nerds. Yes, hello, Artman. Alrighty, so what I need to do to continue with working my puppet is, well, I'm pretty sure the lower jaw just needs to be fabric, right? Because you want it to be able to collapse and move when he's talking. So I want to make the back of the head, so I've got some body to put hair or a hat or whatever on. So I think I just need to continue this hemisphere shape on the back of the head. So I thought I would do that first and then maybe start working on the nose piece, which I can't glue on yet, but that's simply a cut and shape. I'll probably just do that like this piece of foam and just sculpt it with scissors, right? And then you cover it with a slightly different color fabric and glue it on. So I imagine I'll be putting fleece on this hopefully next week when Felicia's back. Yeah, I hope so. And she was talking about probably sewing a black polo for this particular puppet, which would be fun. A little micro black polo. Princess Squib is letting us know that she still hasn't decided what they're going to be for Halloween. Wow, Odin, speak. You've only been talking for 20 minutes and you're already fumbling over your words? So Princess Squib isn't 100% sure what she's going to be wearing for Halloween. Nope, me neither. In fact, I may not dress up for Halloween. I haven't in a few years. I've gotten to where I've gotten my costume fix well enough with cons and with being on YouTube every week. Not that I do costumes much, but trust me, putting on a video host, it's a bit of a costume. I mean, it's not, but it is. So no, I don't think I'm going to be dressing up as anything. Yes, Jay, thank you. So the coffee sleeve, the duct tape coffee HD foam koozie is courtesy of J Period Props. So J Period, thank you very much for this. Felicia actually has hers with her right now because she accidentally walked off with it, but that's okay. And finally seeing this, I think Joe finally really got the idea and did the coffee mug the way that I was wanting to do it. And so if you look at the very top of this comment stream, I should have a pinned comment that's attached to merch for buying your very own official Odin Makes Teespring produced duct tape coffee mug. So you can barely read the Odin Makes logo behind the duct tape that's smeared over it, because duct tape coffee covers up the logos and makes it all nice and camera safe. Doesn't matter what's in the cup, it's now duct tape coffee. Mine is actually black tea, but whatever. And no, Jerry, I'm sorry, it's not your tea. It's a orange peacoat tea today. What do we mean by no, Jerry, it's not your tea? Jerry and B. Lynch a few months ago, right? Months? Has it been months already, or weeks? I don't know, a little while ago, sent me a care package all the way from Ireland with a big box of Irish tea, Irish breakfast tea, which is nice and caffeinated, some packets of crisps, and a big packet of Tesco biscuits, which I do still have some of. And we talked about maybe me having some tea and biscuits during the stream today, but I'm the only one here, and I don't want to be chewing throughout the stream because it doesn't seem polite. Hello, William Connors. Oh, cool. Jerry Riggs is going to put on his Mandalorian costume for Halloween and then bring his son around for trick or treat. So will your son be Grogu? Will he be a rogue Ugonaut? Is he going to be anything from the show? Can he be a orange-eyed Jawa? Yeah, that's just it. Go ahead and make him an orange-eyed Jawa robe, right? Because that's a fairly, no costume's truly easy. Fairly easy costume to make for a child. Basically, you're making a monk's robe with a hood, right? He can wear black gloves. He's just got a mesh that can directly go over his face. Maybe he doesn't have to have them. And then the orange eyes, because the eye color was different. They're not on Tatooine. But then for his candy bucket, you make him the fur egg, and that way he can trick or treat, and you can put the candy directly into the fur egg, and that's his trick or treat basket. The fur egg shell. You don't have the custard in it. Alrighty. I need to figure out. We got 15 minutes and I'll be able to go live. To everybody live. It's amazing only being here by myself. Now, when I was planning on doing streaming, I was always kind of planning on just being by myself. I didn't expect anyone else would want to show up every single week, every week on a consistent basis. Very self-conscious today. I am spoiled. I have a co-host and she's great. So it only needs to be about that big. I'm just trying to cut out a rough piece. I'm doing a quick rough square here, as much as that shapes a square. Something to start with for making the back of the head. I'm not trying to make anything that's anything close to being anatomical, because Muppets are not anatomical. But what I definitely want is something I can hang hair off of. Something I can hang, some sort of body that just sit. Some sort of a body that'll be able to give me a back of the head shape. I know I don't quite want to directly copy this because I want the face to stick out more than the back of the head. So, oh yeah, where's my... If I draw it out the surface, I should end up with about the same. Alrighty. So do I want to say what the American wants to say? Oh, look, that's it's about 5 3/4 inches. Or I can say, oh, hey, it's 15 centimeters. I am capable of using the metric system. I'm just, oh, well, that's not going to work. I don't have 15 centimeters. That's all right. It'll just be shorter. I am capable of using the metric system. I just don't. It's not the way my brain works. I don't think about it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great system. Hey, this piece is not going to be big enough to do 2 of them, I don't think. So if I go 15 here, and this is the center, and it goes up to 14, so not quite 15. That's okay. It doesn't have to. So I got 5 and 10. I'll probably want to have more than just every 5 centimeters. Now here's the fun thing. I want to shorten this distance up so I've got less snout on the back of the head. There's 5 there, and 10. That's way too light of a dot. I can't even see it. 10 and 5. Okay. I've got a curved ruler that Felicia got me a while ago. So I'm looking at trying to go from this dot to this dot is 7.5. I don't want to copy these numbers directly. I'm just trying to figure out what the progression is. And this dot to this dot is 15. Okay. And then this dot to this dot is 18. So maybe instead of 7.5 centimeters, 15 centimeters, 18 centimeters. What if, well, I keep holding it right where the overlay is, huh? So if I go 6, and maybe I'll do 6, 12, and 16, which isn't a complete progression, but I know it needs to have that top of the beach ball, top of a globe type of a shape, not a equilateral triangle. So I'm going to go from, there's my dot, there's my 14 dot, so from here, that's my 5, that's my 10, although it doesn't quite go all the way to the bottom. And then I'm going to want to go 6, here, here to here. This is me totally making up my own, I think they're called gores. Don't want to make it now, keep it 12. So put it on 6. I go 12 centimeters from here, that's crooked. 12 centimeters from here to here. And then down to the bottom, I talked about doing just 14, 15. Do 15, I've got the 15 marked, okay. Now where is, the French curve, which isn't really enough of a curve for a gore. I could try that other hip curve. Is that going to work out? Not going to lie, I like rulers. I think I've got a problem with, I don't have a problem with playing too much Minecraft. I got a problem with owning too many straight edges, too many rulers. Yeah, so I'll go from 8 1/4 at the base to 2 up here because I like this shape. I think this will give me the I think this will give me the hemisphere shape that I want. And on the other side, so I got my 15 centimeter dot. I set it at the 8 1/4 because this is an older American ruler, and so it only has standard on it. And it doesn't quite, because this isn't totally straight. This edge isn't totally straight, right? So it doesn't exactly line up on the 2-inch mark, but it's a freaking Muppet. It'll be fine. There we go. this thing cut. Look at the comments really quick. Ben Illich says, wait, there's a live stream? Yeah. Yeah, and Odin's trying to make during the live stream. Ralph Morick says, wow, you're not kidding. That Rackham and Stackham hotel is packed. I'll go and level up your villagers. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I went from having a ghost town village, right? I was building up. I found the blueprints online for building the... come back. I found the blueprints online for building the village buildings as they're done in the game when they spawn, and I like the way the plains one looked. I think Princess Squibb said it right, that me not trying to create my own buildings necessarily and just following the blueprints for the game is a lot like building a Lego set, which I've always enjoyed doing. So it was actually a lot of fun for me to build up all these villager buildings. As time progressed, I modified some, so they did become somewhat custom, and then that Rackham and Stackham hotels, that started out more as a facade to help hide the large wall of stone that was just stuck in the middle of my generated area that I really didn't want to cut down. I kind of liked the Night of Bald Mountain look, but I didn't necessarily want, you know, that mountain. And so I worked through it and managed to make a ton of beds and inside of it. So, long story, I went from having a ghost town and no villagers to having a population problem, and now I have an unemployment problem over in New Asgard. So, yeah, it's fun when you walk up there as this happens to me. I don't know if it'll happen to everyone else because I live close by that might. But I will get 3 or 4 unemployed villagers that'll walk up and stare at me right in the face. And you can't click on them or do anything with them because they're unemployed. They can't interact with you. And so I kind of take that as, dude, we don't have jobs. Make us jobs. So I have an overabundance of farmers. I have an overabundance of shepherds, none of which are actually making any emeralds right now because I don't have enough to spread the wealth on that. So yeah, you got jobs now, but the economy is still kind of crap. So New Asgard's got some serious growing pains. Princess Squibb says, Odin has a super fancy hobbit hole house in Minecraft. I love it. Yeah, one of these days, maybe I'll be able to get the laptop and set up and stream a little bit of what's happening in Minecraft for all of you who are not on the server, or maybe don't actually have interest in being on the server, which is totally cool, I get that, but wouldn't mind seeing what the heck it is we're talking about. I just don't have, here's the fun thing, the computer, which I do my editing, which is where I've got the Minecraft set up, is upstairs in my office. And I'm down in the studio, which is where I do the live streaming. And the two of them don't really connect, and it would require me moving a lot of my equipment around, I think, in order to try and live stream from my office, which I don't really want to do anyway. So when I can, I may grab one of the laptops that the family's got at home and bring that in and see if I can't do kind of a tour of New Asgard. I went ahead and built the Iron Guardians, right? So you got the Iron Golems. One of the things in Minecraft is it's this tall, kind of white, covered in vines, Iron Golem that stomps around and basically attacks mobs when they show up. Attacks the creepers, attacks the zombies, attacks the skeletons, attacks the spiders. This is what they're designed to do to help protect the villagers in an automated type of way. This is for all of you who don't know. Like I know a whole lot. This is my first Minecraft game that I've ever taken this seriously. Basically, it's my first Minecraft game. Well, not only since I built 2 giants have they propagated, and there's like half a dozen running around now, which is awesome because those things are expensive to build. But there was a point in time when I think lightning struck my pigs that I had set up and they all turned into zombified piglins, which that was interesting. Suddenly I have a pig pen full of zombified piglins, which are these, you know, humanoid pig people, but they're zombies because they don't belong in the overworld dimension of Minecraft. They only belong in the netherworld Minecraft dimension. So I managed to corral them into a large gatehouse to be sort of like my undead guard. So they were just walking around because they're a truly neutral mob. They don't attack anybody unless they're attacked. Otherwise, they don't care. They'll walk up and look at you, and you can walk through them, and they don't care about you. So it was fun having these, because they're carrying swords, having these guys patrolling the top. Well, they are technically a evil mob or a non-friendly mob because they're neutral. So all the iron golems over a period of 24 hours managed to, through cobblestone walls, kill all of my zombified piglins. So I don't have any more now after spending way too much time trying to corral something that, after herding cats to get those things into the tower, they're all gone because the golems did their jobs really, really well. Thanks, guys. So I got one piece. Alrighty. So this is hopefully gonna work. Oops. As long as I actually cut it straight. I like having a full-size trash can underneath the table. So the table I'm standing at is a custom height. It's, I think, 44 inches tall, the tabletop is. It's tall, slightly taller than a normal table because it was that comfortable height, not that height, which isn't comfortable, especially not a sitting table. Those tables are way too low to stand at and do anything at. So me having a table of that height, I have enough room underneath it that I've got a 35-gallon trash can with wheels that fits under my table. It's great. Alrighty, let me get some contact cement smeared on these. We're gonna go public in about 4 minutes. I'm gonna delay this. Let's do a few more quick minutes of you and me, and then we'll open this up to everybody else. There it is. So Princess Squib apparently. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what's a bippy? Oh, okay. Ben metric metric is better than inferior. I actually thought that was a typo at first, but inferior is great, Ralph. Yes, imperial is inferior because it's all fractions and weird. Metric is definitely better, but Oh, I see. Artman's talking about how his nephew is obsessed with Pippi. Quiet 1610 says, remember to hit the like button and subscribe. A lot of Minecraft talk, says Eric Gordon. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'll try not to be all Minecraft, but that's literally what I was doing this morning. It was something that got on my mind, so it makes it very easy to talk about. And I've spent a little too much time in Minecraft here this past week, so or more. So yeah, there's a bit of a lot of talk about it. I'll try not to make this all Minecraft all the time because that's not the point. The point is to actually make something. But it's almost noon and I'm going to be kicking this over to being public access. So everyone else who wants to be able to watch the stream can join in. So just once again, for all of you who are coming in, because people come in as they can, which is awesome. That's the whole point. In the very beginning, I was thanking all the patrons, who is still all of you, who are live with us right now, for your support, because all the patron support is what pays the rent for me to be able to be in this shop, to be able to make these videos, to be able to do the live stream, to be able to get things out. I was saying before, I don't have the space at home to do this. That's actually very much the truth. I don't have the ability or space to set anything like this up at home. So thank you guys. That the Patreon support is literally what makes the channel possible, because your patronage is what pays my ability to be here. And I think I was telling Felicia, and I think I said it live in the live stream, in August, just this past month, or no, it was September. In September, we finally hit where the Patreon support is greater than the monthly rent to be here, which is pretty cool. So thank you guys so much. Definitely thank you. All right, so it's noon, so let's go over and click this. Oh, Eric says it's not a complaint at all. Sweet, okay. And Princess Squib says, Minecraft is life. And currently, it's her hyperfixation. Yeah. I'm gonna have to only go on late at night. I need to rebalance myself. night my time. So, although honestly, Ralph, it was awesome with. Ralph took a bit of a vacation when the Minecraft server went live, and he was there all the time, as well as doing the things that interest Ralph that's beyond Minecraft. But it was a lot of fun having someone else who was old school knowledgeable in the game that was able to talk to me through the voice chat on Discord about how parts of the game work and what things to look at, and showed me some of the stuff that he was doing. That was great, and really reminded me of the days of old when I was playing EverQuest with a headset. So now I really have to do this because it is time. So edit, visibility, public, done, and save. Alrighty, I'm getting told that my stream bitrate is a little lower than recommended bit rate, but there's not much I can really do to change that because I don't have control of that here in the building. Who? Oh, Strict Aphid, nice. All right. So I'm looking at Discord messages. It is now noon. Looks like I still got the same concurrent viewers, but it's now noon, and I have clicked over to being a public stream. Let me double check that actually took. It actually took. I've got 14 viewers, it says now. So for all of you who are joining in now, it's actually now for you. I advertise starting at noon on Sundays for my live stream. So hello and welcome to the Odin Makes live stream. It's Sunday and time to stream live. That's what I said. The first 45 minutes or so of every Sunday video, I actually start early. So I'm saying this wrong. Let me back up. While the public live stream starts at noon, at 11:15 every Sunday, we start early in an unlisted fashion, so I get a chance to see the comments and talk directly to all my Patreon members. So they get a bit of a private live stream that becomes coupled as part of the public live stream. So now we are in the public portion. So I want to say hello and welcome to the Sunday Odin Makes live stream. I'm Odin, and I'm here today with nobody, because I thought I was going to be out of town today. And so Felicia made plans to not be here because I wasn't going to be here. My plans fell through. I wasn't going to ask her to change hers. So here I am all by myself, which is fine. I'm still working on the puppets that we had started last week and will be continuing to work with next week. So far on the puppet, I've helped myself by adding some grip on the inside of the mouth to make it a little bit easier to hold on to. And I started trying to pattern together pieces to go for the back of the head. These might be too small. I won't know until I glue them together, and I'm about ready to do that. Right, Detlef P says, Minecraft kind of reminds me of my time playing World of Warcraft. You start playing in the evening, and then in one blink later, it's light outside. Yeah, I've done that already on Minecraft, and I used to do that all the time on EverQuest. Way back in the day, what is this, 2000, when EverQuest was at its peak, 99, 2000. Well, I started playing in 1999, but I remember in 2000, I was freshly unemployed. I had a friend that worked at He was the sole employee at the server facility, which ran 24 hours, that was there to facilitate the on-site technicians that would build security systems, right? So this facility existed to support guys that had a 9-to-5 job, but it was a 24-hour position because if the server went down, they had to know to get it to work to go back up because it was still active for all the customers, right? Even though the people there were only there for the technicians, they needed a night guard. They needed someone to babysit the server. But then this babysitter didn't have permission to do anything. So if the server went down, he had to call somebody else. So my friend would go and get the backlog of emails done, which would take him maybe an hour if he took his time. And then he had 7 hours to kill until the morning shift showed up and he could leave. So I would call the 800 number that was set up for the techs, put on a headset, and he and I would play EverQuest all night. Did that every night. And doing Minecraft now with voice chat and Discord really reminds me of that. And that was so much fun. I really haven't played any the multi-user online role-playing games since, because that experience of a couple of months of being able to call and talk to somebody real time while you're running around in the year 2000 was spoiling, and I had no interest in EverQuest anymore or playing any of the other games because that was solely lacking. I'm not really that good with the whole keeping up with a text chat, if you can't tell from the live streams. So yeah, having the voice chat, having the headset, having a chance to get to talk to Ralph and everyone else who's popped in whenever I've been on voice chat has been a lot of fun. So I will be on again this week. I haven't posted the scheduled time that I will be there, but my goal with Minecraft is to be on the server, available to everybody else who's on the server within the voice chat to run around, look at stuff, and have fun. I keep wanting to do it Wednesday, but every time I want to do it Wednesday, I'm afraid I'll interrupt the build talk. So I don't know, it might be Thursday. I'll try and figure out exactly what day it's going to be this week. No, it should be Tuesday, because I think I'm going to be hard pressed to get my video done again, but we'll figure it out. Prime Guy 98's here, says, hi Odin in chat, how is your day going? My day is going pretty good. I'm about ready to huff some context emit fumes, and been talking ad nauseum about Minecraft, but I said I'd try not to do that, and that hasn't happened yet. Cruiser Cruisin' says, hello Odin. Hello Cruiser Cruisin'. Prime Guy, yay, Muppet time. It's Muppet time. This will be better when it has skin. Right now it's a Hellraiser puppet. It has no skin. Pandora's Palamonstro Horrenido. Wow, I can't say that. But hello from Mexico. Nikki Wiggles, what's up, Odin? Hello. Well, I'm working on the Muppet version of myself. This was early in the live stream. I remember we were just messing around, and I would pop in my hand from the side of the screen and talk, you know, in the whole puppet talk thing from the side of the screen. And Felicia found that funny, and the viewers at the time found that funny. And so requests for making puppets has been there ever since. Well, you know, Felicia's had experience making puppets and Muppets, not only doing it as for Smosh, because both of us used to work for the YouTube channel called Smosh. That's how I met Felicia. But she's also made a couple of music videos making a bunch of puppets and Muppets. So making Muppets here seemed like a great idea to her, and I agree. I thought it was a fun idea. Looking forward to getting to make the costumes. Maybe I should do that for the Halloween video. Maybe I should make a cosplay for my puppet. Of course, first thing that comes to mind is make Ash from Evil Dead cosplay for my puppet, because I really like Evil Dead 2. That's my favorite of those movies. So yes, you should be wearing a respirator when using contact cement, because contact cement fumes are delightful. I don't have a respirator on right now because I'm doing a live stream. And the one thing that you can't see is I do have a AC vent right over my head, pointed at my head. So I have fresh air being drawn in from the other room. We set this one up specific, which almost defeats the efficiency of the HVAC. Instead of recycling the air in the room and continuing to chill that air down, This is the way this one's built. It's like a car AC. It's only pulling in fresh air from the other room, chilling it as much as it can, and then spitting it out over my head. But that does give me fresh air at a constant rate from the other room and blowing the fumes away from me. However, it spreads out throughout the rest of the room. It still mixes up. It's unfortunate when somebody else walks in here. It's like, whoa! But, yeah, contact cement fumes, they're fun. You know, for kids. So contact cement and foam is my, boy, that's great. Let me just clear my throat a ton of times live. Using this type of foam with contact cement is totally how I got started working with foam. There was actually a puppetry class that I took at American River College here in Sacramento. This was a while ago. This was decades ago. And this exact thing I'm doing right now was my first real working with sheets of foam, working with contact cement, gluing things together, and making shapes. I had worked with foam before and I knew of foam, but it was always a casting type of foam. It was always one where you would mix the two compounds together and make it foam up, or especially at that time, it was mostly foam latex, where you would mix the foaming ingredients with some latex rubber, have to mix it up in basically a mix master, like a KitchenAid, right? Type of beater mixer. And then you have to bake it in an oven. It was heat activated. Yeah. So like the giant worms from Tremors, they had to build specialty ovens, which were just large brick things, to put the worm heads into for the giant worm head props, because at that time, foam latex was the best that they could do, and they needed to cook it in order to make it set up. So that was a fun little tidbit of information I was reading with one of the interviews in Cinefex magazines about one of the things they hadn't considered was having to build these giant ovens and then maintain their temperature while they cook the the foam for the giant heads of the graboids from Tremors. All right. Now, contact cement does take a little bit longer to dry on this type of foam, because unlike EVA foam, where it just sits on the surface, contact cement soaks into this this couch foam, this poly foam. It's more of a sponge. So it takes a little more contact cement to get the scenes to get covered, and then it takes longer for it to dry because it's thicker and it's more than just a surface. Of course, it's gonna take a lot longer if I put more on. More on. Oh, good. Nora's popped in. Jack of all trades is here. Hello. Thank you for showing up. Oh, I'm backing up. I missed a lot. Jedi Wes Yoda says, hi, Odin. Hello. Nikki Wiggles. Hello. What's up, Odin? And hello to you, Nikki Wiggles. Adrian Wow, Hernandez. I know I can say it, but my mouth won't do it. Sanchez, are you going to do something from Star Wars Visions? Let me be honest, I haven't watched Star Wars Visions yet. I know that's probably sacrilege, I'm sorry. But I'll need to watch it to see what it is I want to do. I've heard about there's a Sith that has a new lightsaber accessory. I'll leave it at that for all of you who haven't seen Visions and don't want to be spoiled. But while that sounds awesome in animation, I'm really not sure how to go about making that. Of course, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll need to see them. And I know they're a low time commitment. Aren't most of the Visions episodes 15, 20 minutes? It should be fun. Welsh Photography? Wow. It's Welsh with a J. J. Welsh Photography says, hi, Odin. Love your vids and builds. And hello from the UK. Hello back to you in the UK. Thank you. Oh, hey, SOS CQD MGI. So in the chat right now is a good old friend who knows me from even before the EverQuest story days, right? Yes, he does. And saying that I should make my red dragon puppet again. I could do that. I haven't made that dragon puppet in longer than some of the viewers have been alive. Yeah, that was fun. Maybe, probably not. But the big red dragon was cool. So I'm not sure if I've got pictures, certainly not ones I can just run over and grab here in the shop. But I made the final project for the puppetry class that I took at American River College was to actually put on some sort of a puppetry play, and then we loaded it up into the theater department's SUV and Suburban, and drove it around to a few schools and a children's hospital and performed this puppet show thing. And so the class split up into two groups. I don't remember what the other group's story was at this point, but ours was a unicorn and a dragon and goofy thing with hockey cards, and it was kind of this quasi almost Shrek sort of thing, but it wasn't, because it wasn't, all the fairy tales wasn't part of it, but the whole bizarre dragon dynamic with over talking donkey unicorn, that was definitely in the show, in our puppet show. So I made this big red dragon puppet, mostly because I just wanted to make a dragon. And yeah, that became the head of the D&D display. March is Dragon Month for Dungeons and Dragons. This is in, I don't know, 94. I was working in a comic shop, so I reused the dragon head puppet that I had and built a body for him. This is real clunky looking. And made this display at the comic shop that I was working at, Birdcage Walk in Sacramento. And so this big red dragon was guarding the horde of Dungeons and Dragons games. It was just the display I did to try and submit and become part of their contest. Well, I think I came in second in the contest, or I tied for second for the contest. I think first place did the same type of thing, but actually copied the art from TSR, which was the smart thing to do. But what I did win was, that's how I met my spouse. They came in and saw the big dragons and asked about them, and oh, Odin made those, and Odin made those. Who's Odin? And then hung out, and so that's how I met my spouse. Was I built foam dragons for in a comic shop. Yeah, so. Oh, Prime Guy 98 is going to show off his new fur head suit. Cat fursuit head, which is the same type of foam as this. It's kind of, in a sense, a fursuit's kind of a big Muppet. Hydro Cannon. While we're on the topic of puppets, have you thought of doing a Venom head puppet to coincide with the new movie, kind of like Dark Shadow you made a while back? I had not thought about that. It's not actually. I saw on my newsfeed today talk about the Venom movie. It's like, that came out. I actually missed the fact that it came out this Friday. I knew that. I knew it was coming out October 1st. In hindsight, I remember seeing that date. It was the 1st, right? Not the 30th. But it was totally outside of my memory as the days progressed by. Mason Vasic, hello, back to you. Vasic, something like that. Gordon Terry is asking me if I'll ever do anything Predator knives. I've thought about it, I've looked at it, but I've gotten distracted with other things. John Hughes too, hello. Minifig Collector says, hi Odin, longtime fan, hello. Oh, wow. SOS CQD says that they still have the binder from Dragon Month, because if I remember right, SOS took a lot of the photos for that. That's pretty cool. Bernie Davis asks me if I've ever considered making a Slimer puppet. No, I hadn't really thought about making a Slimer puppet, but it's not a bad idea. Schultz Division says, fantastic story, Odin. Oh, good. I'm glad my rambling meanderings are foam-tastic. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry, guys. So I've got the back pieces put together here. And what I'm trying to do is make the back of the head to the Muppet. So I had started working on this before the show actually started. I've got my pieces cut out. This is my assumed shape for making a hemisphere. They ended up calling them gores. I actually found a gore calculator. That was just this kind of a bullet-shaped shape. It's a bullet-shaped shape that the tops of globes and fabric spheres and things take. And so I'm hoping that I can get that to work out for the foam. But I didn't use the calculator for this. I totally just kind of educated guessed it. So it may not work, but it looks like it's going to be fine. Because all I really need to do is have a back of the head for the puppet, which will give me the ability to put hair on him or a hat on him or something else gives him a solid head. Because really all you need for the puppet, I believe, is the top half of the head, right? You got the top half of the head that supports the eye, supports the nose, supports the hair, and then from the bottom part of the head, it's just fabric. So you can get all the wrist movement, you can get all the jaw movement out of them. Now you can make them more complicated than that, but from the really basic Children on Sesame Street style Muppet, which is kind of what I was trying to go for, that's really all I think I need. And if I don't like this, I can cut it off and try again. Because I'm going to skin it with fleece. I'm going to fleece my puppet. Live on the internet next week. I wonder if Lee's here. Lee, there's another guy here in Sacramento, Lee Braithwaite. I always kind of mispronounce his last name. I'm really good at mispronouncing last names. I'm sorry, everyone, who I do that to you. He's got a podcast and got a bit of a geek presence in Sacramento, but for some reason, he and I have never connected for doing any kind of a podcast or doing any kind of a interaction outside of saying hi at a con. But Lee has got some really spot-on replicas of the Muppets. He's got Gonzo and Fonzie, and he's got a Miss Piggy, and he's got Kermit, and it's very, very cool. He's taken. I've seen Gonzo. He's taken Gonzo to Lodi Comic Con when that was happening. Comic Con. It's a Lodi Con, and then he took Fozzie. I think got to go to Sac Anime, but I didn't see him at Sac Anime. I missed Fozzie. Look, he's even got a little soft spot at the top of his head, just like a human skull. All right, I'm a talking football. Team Ghost says, do you think you'll ever make a mini Captain America shield for the puppet? I was talking and joking about making puppet-sized props. That might be fun. So, I don't know, maybe my Halloween video will be making a cosplay for the puppet. Princess Squib says, if that puppet doesn't end up with a black polo and a duct tape coffee, I'm going to start a petition. Well, at least it's just a petition. You're not going to like start passing out pitchforks and torches. No, there's already a plan, 100%, to make sure that this puppet gets a black polo. That is a for sure thing that Felicia's like, oh no, I can do that totally. That's easy. Making other stuff is hard. Having to do more real clothing that has to work like real clothing in a puppet scale, that's hard. But a polo, no problem. So yeah, black polo is going to happen. Bernie Davis says, can you tell me how to get to Odin Makes? Well, that kind of works. Corey Dog says, Odin, I love your channel. Thanks. Thank you, Corey Dog. Jerry Rig Prop says, I'm still here. Thank you. I didn't know that. Did I miss something? Were you in danger of disappearing? Richard Grant and the Kelvin both popped in saying hello. Hello, guys. So yeah, I'm working on my puppet. So for those of you popping in, it's almost been half an hour of public. For those of you who are in here from the beginning, you're going to hear this a lot. Felicia's off today. I thought I was going to be going on a trip today, and so there wasn't going to be a live stream. My trip ended up not happening, but I wasn't going to ask Felicia to change her plans because she had made plans. She had a Sunday. So Felicia's enjoying her Sunday. She'll be back next week. And so it's just me working on the puppet, which is good because I was behind last week when we were making our puppets on the live stream. Felicia got a lot done in her puppet. She did a lot of hot glue and actually got some fleece put on it. It was supposed to be, we were making puppet versions of ourselves. That was the original idea. Hers is starting to become this blue hippo pony thing. So it may not be a puppet of her. May just be a puppet. That's fine. I'm still going to just make a big head puppet and it'll be good enough. But definitely next week, I think, I'm saying definitely, very definitely. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely next week we'll be skinning this guy, putting the fabric over the foam to give him the skin to make him look like the Muppets that at least I know. That should be fun. Let's see. Do I want to do that? I could do that. I could cut a 2mm HD, 2mm foam tongue and uvula for the back of the throat because the mouth isn't closing completely anyway. I think partly because I've got it cut deeper on one side than the other. It's not just my right hand. Because I see from my point of view, the mouth is closing completely, right? I don't know if anyone else can see that. Not from that far away. Here, let me just, while live, I'll hit the focus assist. So on this side of the puppet, the mouth is closing. But on the side that's opposite of the operator, it never closes. Well, I think that's because this mouthpiece was a single piece that I then put a cut in on the back. And on this side, which is the side that's closing nicely, I think it's cut deeper than over here on this side where it doesn't close quite as nice. And visually, yes, that is 100% what it is. So, worst case, I cut it, I actually cut all the way through, and I'll have to put fabric back in as a hinge. Let's see if I can't increase the depth of the cut without cutting completely and get this mouth to... This is Odin not being able to talk and cut at the same time. Am I even on camera? No, yeah, I'm on camera. Oh, yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, he needed that. Let me get away from the super close-up. So yeah, that's working a lot better. Now the mouth is clapping shut. It didn't do that before because I had to kind of fight it. So definitely, definitely like having a deeper score cut on the back for the hinge of the mouth. This is working a lot better for me. I like this. All right, and let's go push the button and go back to camera 1 over here, maybe. And yeah, there we go. Okay. Prime Guy's telling me I should make an Odin Makes episode with the Modin being a puppet version of a Muppet version of Odin. Chozo Senior 388 says, hello Odin, typo. Love the Mechagodzilla build series. Thank you. I'm super happy with Mechagodzilla, and I still want to put puppetry into Mechagodzilla. He's actually got it currently. In the videos, I'm sure you remember this, with the head updates, I was trying to put a pulley system attached to a pull string inside of the helmet of Mechagodzilla that would then go to a chin strap on the internal helmet that I made. So I would be able to open my jaw, pull the pulleys, and make the jaw, a Mechagodzilla, open up. And the jaw has actually got a spring to keep it shut. It's not a high tension spring, it's just a little bit of a spring there. Well, once my head got put inside, the little tight channel, that cable, that wire, that string, that paracord had to go through in order to get down to my chin, had too much friction on it, and the jaw would open, but then it didn't have enough strength to close. So I kind of abandoned that, and that's why the mouth isn't working at all in the last couple of videos where I was wearing it, because it wasn't really working. Well, the last 2 videos that I've done with the pumpkin bomb and with the 10 rings, I used a bunch of Adafruit Industries technology, right? Use the little microprocessors, their trinkets, their things. Well, I still have one other one that I haven't used in a project yet. I had bought those initially with the idea of putting it in the chest of Mechagodzilla, so I could have a button that would activate a servo, make the chest open up, and have the lights go on and blink inside. Then I could hit a button and the chest would close and the lights would go off, and they wouldn't just be glowing all the time where you could kind of see those through the cracks of the not quite closed compartment. Haven't built that yet. Not that obvious, but I haven't built that yet. There's no video for it yet. I have seen on the Adafruit website, somebody made a cardboard shark head helmet puppet, which was using their processors to make this big oversized, it was just a cardboard box. It wasn't very shark-like, but it had shark teeth. So it reacted to a loud noise. It used the audio sensor on the boards. So as the guy talked, it would just kind of bounce and sort of do the jabberwocky bouncy mouth thing. And realize that is 100% what I can do to Mechagodzilla. Whether it's with a loud noise from me talking inside the suit, or if it's just simply a momentary switch that I can press to make the jaw open and close and stay open. So I think I'm going to be adding robot puppetry into my robot cosplay. But that's a future thing that hasn't quite happened yet. Schultz Division says, hey Odin, have you worked on servos for a suit? Wow, perfect timing for my question. Yes, Schultz, it's perfect. No, I don't think I've done any truly servo. Not really. I've put electric motors in a joke sense in different costumes. We did like a really crappy Borg way back in the day, and basically I used spin pops. Right? It was a toy candy that probably still sold. It was just enough of a battery, just enough of a motor to spin a Tootsie Pop or some other lollipop thing on the end of it. So you take that out and you put in what you want, and now you have a button that makes something spin at a low RPM. And we were using that for the ends of the Borg arm and whatnot. So I think that is the closest I've come to putting servos into something, which isn't even a servo, it's just an electric motor, because it's not a servo motor. Yeah. Arlie Roth says, hello. Sporadic Amnesic says, that would be hilarious if it was activated by your voice. It would. So maybe if I had a safety switch, because this is what I would want. I would want to be able, if it's just activated to my voice all the time, I suppose that would totally work. But I would kind of want it to only open and close when I wanted it to open and close, and not just constantly. So maybe if I had a momentary switch inside of one of the hands that I could press, that would then allow that to happen, that might not be a bad idea. Jozo, oh, I'd love to see that. Homebrew Borg prosthetics are my jam. Oh, the original TNG Borg looks so homebrew, especially now. I mean, it's cheesy television costumes, right? But you look at it and say, yeah, that's current cosplay quality. Yeah. You know. Oh, Zero's here saying, hey, Odin, big fan. Hello, Zero. Pew Pew Props is trying to talk about how they've started a YouTube channel of tutorials on prop making. All thanks to me. All thanks to me. Okay, well, no, it's me sort of sort of quoting Fish Called Wanda, which is another one of my favorite movies. No, that's awesome, Pew Pew Props, right? Pew Pew Props? Yeah, Pew Pew Props. Pew Pew Props. That is very cool. Definitely. Please. This is Odin having a brain fart live on camera. With the 10 rings, I just mentioned his name. He was talking to me. He did the glow stick 10 rings. Anyway, he had sent me a link to his video and saying he was inspired to make YouTube tutorial videos because of my videos. Which that's thank you guys. That's amazing. I love hearing that. Honestly, that's a huge compliment to me, and I'm so happy that you feel confident and inspired enough to be able to go out and start doing your own videos. And what's exciting is to think about who among you are going to become big YouTube prop makers, because some of you are. It's gonna happen. Some of you are gonna get big numbers. It's gonna happen. There's gonna become a point in time when someone who I've inspired to make props surpasses me and becomes the preeminent YouTube. Not that I'm preeminent, but you know, I feel like I'm up there with the other big guys. Someone will and that is exciting to think that. The person who does that, I could very well inspire to have that happen, and that is cool. And that is well, that's kind of what humans do, right? That's kind of you try to have the next generation to come along and take over. And so that's really in YouTube sense and in internet sense, that time frame is much smaller. So that excites me. I'm happy for you, Pew Pew Props. I wish you all the best. The best part about YouTube is I don't think we're competing with each other. I don't feel like I'm in competition with Evil Ted Smith, or I'm in competition with Punish Props, or I'm in competition with any of the other big makers that you want to think of. I don't want to list off everybody because I'll have too many us going on. But because it's not the appointment TV model. This isn't broadcast TV where you have to choose between which one you're going to watch at 8 o'clock, and then that's it. You're going to miss the other ones. No, it's YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want to watch it, as often as you want to watch it, at your own time. We're not competing with each other. If anything, we should be complementing each other. So I think that's awesome, Pew Pew. I love the fact that you started a channel. That is cool. Pew Pew Prop says, oh, for real, you were my first teacher. Well, thank you. Oculus 2003, when I left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master. And then immediately follows up with, hey, do you have any plans on making a Darth Vader helmet? Alrighty, so no, is the first proper response. I currently do not have plans to make a Darth Vader helmet. I am not against it, but that's not on the immediate horizon. That's in the eventually, you know, that's on the list of been requested forever, like an Iron Man helmet. But no, I don't. However, trivia. The very first Star Wars helmet that I built, if I remember correctly, was the Heavy Mandalorian. You know, Heavy from the Mandalorian. Well, I needed this helmet shape easily, right? Which isn't a total hemisphere. It is narrower than it is longer, right? It's head shaped. So at the time, that needs to be glued. At the time, I needed to create a pattern for that, and create a pattern for that easily. So I looked at what I had access to that could help me with getting this shape put together. And what I had was one of the cheap Ruby's full head, or it could have been, I don't think it's the old Don Post one, I think it's Ruby's, Darth Vader helmets. You know, the severely undersized one that they made, that still it's a two-parter, right? You've got like the top piece and then the face piece that goes together. So I took the top of the Darth Vader helmet and created my pattern off of that, a duct tape pattern, just like I do on everything else. And then when I pulled that off, I modified it slightly. I think I stretched it a little more, and I definitely scaled it up. But that is how I created the original dome for the Mandalorian, and for this particular Mandalorian helmet. And I've been reusing this pattern and modifying it slightly ever since. So there's a tiny bit of Darth Vader in this guy. Jerry Rig Props has given me huge compliments saying, dude, Odin, you are top 3 YouTube maker. My favorite by far. Thank you, Jerry. I'm afraid of being super egotistical saying, yes, I'm there. I'm doing this. I just want to make my videos. That's all I ever wanted to do, right? When I started, with DIY Prop Shop, I got a taste on making instructional videos. I got a taste for making the videos and making the props, and it was a lot of fun. And I could see that DIY Prop Shop, I was a contractor in a different city. All I did was I shot my own videos, edited my own videos, delivered them a final product. Towards the very end of their runs, the first time I got to meet up with anybody else who was on that crew and actually get to go see the offices they had in Beverly Hills. They were very much on their tail end of life. Just the nature of how businesses work, right? The people that were... This is speculation, me saying that I think that some of the people that were a big part of making DIY Prop Shop and the other channels really run, got other opportunities and left. I don't know if that's true, but for me to watch the other videos as a video editor, it looked like the other videos were getting done faster, were getting done on more of a time crunch, or we're getting done by for hire editors that were just get it done because I want to go home. And I had a concern over what exactly happened based solely on the output that they were doing. And that's why I started Odin Makes. It's like, all right, I need to start my own channel. Not only so I have my own channel, but so this opportunity to get the build stuff doesn't go away. And yeah, it's been fun. Well, a little extra dirt there. I wasn't quite sure I was ready to share publicly, but that was all my opinion. I could be totally wrong on how things went down at DIY Prop Shop because I wasn't there. I got to meet all the big players. I got to meet the main producer. I got to meet the main guy that was in charge of production. I got to, because he was the producer and the other guy. I got to meet all the other hosts. We did a couple of collaborative videos. It was a lot of fun. It was a great environment. It was great people. But there was definitely a noticeable change in the way their videos were edited and structured, in my opinion. And that's a big reason why I was like, okay, I got to do my own channel. Oh, Mason's Crafts is wow, okay. Mason Crafts is asking if I was going to make a Darth Vader helmet because my dad passed, because Mason's Crafts' dad passed away, and apparently he always wanted me to. Wow, heavy. All right. Fred, so Mason, my memories of my dad passing away, right? So that's condolences to you. Prime Guy 98 is asking me, do I have any props planned for Spooktober? Or actually no, he's got Spook, not Spocktober. Not specifically. I definitely want to do a Halloween build. I've done a Halloween build every year, so I intend on doing a Halloween build again this year. But I don't know what that's going to be. My first choice would be Evil Dead Necronomicon, because I haven't built that yet. I think that'd be great, but I'd want to do it right. I'd want to bind the book. I want to do the pages, not by hand, but I want to do all. I've got enough other projects going on that feels like too big of a project to try and fit in with everything else. I think my Spooktober project's going to need to be scaled down a little bit from the Necronomicon. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But yes, I'm definitely going to have a Halloween build just on my normal channel. We're going to have a Halloween live stream. Felicia and I have already talked about that. We haven't nailed down if it's just going to be the last Sunday before Halloween or if we're going to do a special Halloween stream again. It'll probably just be the Sunday beforehand, and we're looking at trying to do another tour of the media center during that time if nobody else is in the building, so we won't be interrupting anybody else. So a whole bunch of things in there have to align, but that's the current plan. Gigi says, hello from Italy. Hello there to you, Gigi in Italy. Bagel, Odin, where did you learn to make props from foam, and why is foam your main material? Well, I sort of touched on this earlier. Maybe you weren't here yet. Maybe it was only during the private Patreon portion. Puppets. I took a puppetry class in a community college, and doing exactly this was my first real building with sheets of foam and gluing stuff together with contact cement, was making puppets. So, I mean, I remember being in the classroom with a big 5-gallon pail of barge. Yeah, bought it. 5-gallon bucket of barge. We just ripped the top off and went at it with tongue depressors, and that's how we glued everything. Can you imagine the fumes built up in the classroom from a 5-gallon bucket full of barge contact cement? And of course, that's the hardcore. That is the contact cement to use, right? Barge is the pinnacle of it. I use weldwood from DAP, which works just fine for working with foam. It works just fine as a construction. The barge is what I've seen all the cobblers use. The guys who will resole work boots, they use barge because it is definitely a stronger, superior glue to weldwood. And the price reflects that too, so I buy weldwood. But can you imagine the fumes in the classroom? Yeah, I'm fine. Flame Story, Odin, say hi. Hi. Oh, not a bad idea. Thomas Hughes is suggesting that I can make a handheld Doctor Who Dalek blaster from Doctor Who Series 9. That's not a bad idea. Is it close at all to the blasters they had from the original series, I wonder? Clayton Sharp says, Necronomicon, check out Nerdforge in their book. Definitely. I've seen a number of different Necronomicons. That's one of the fun things also with YouTube, with me saying I don't feel like I'm competing. I don't want to make something immediately after someone else does, because that might be competing, right? Like, there's been times that I've planned on trying to make something, and then literally with the Loki TV series, Steve at SKS Props puts out a teaser video. Hey, this is my next video coming up. So, well, I don't want to build Loki's crown because I don't want to do a video and release it within a week of Steve releasing his video. That's not cool. So I try to pay attention to that. That's as close as I get to not competing, is to not try to step on anyone else's videos, right? Otherwise, we're not competing. It is a creative space. Everyone gets to share their ideas, which is awesome. Everyone gets to. We're not competing for the eyeballs. I talked about this just a minute ago. We're not competing for broadcast TV, where there's only a set time you can watch the show and then it's over and you don't get to watch the other ones. That's just not the case with YouTube. So yeah, I know there's a few other Necronomicons, and I've seen a couple of them, and I still want to build one. I always kind of have. I think it's really cool. Flamestoney asks me, when did I start making props? You know, as a kid, it's what is a prop exactly? Is a prop only a prop because it's in front of a camera? Is a prop only a prop because you've got it as part of a major cosplay and you took it to a con? Or is a prop, you know, a cardboard tube and masking tape in your hand as you run around in the backyard because it's pretending to be something that it's not? What is a prop? So I definitely started, you know, young. Started making stuff that I saw in movies, you know, to entertain myself. and doing a lot of stuff for Halloween costumes. I I was part of, it wasn't work, I wasn't getting paid, it was work. I was part of a Rocky Horror Picture Show cast back when that was actually happening. When people would do the live cast in front of the show, there were 4 different casts at 2 different theaters in Sacramento when I was doing it. And I was part of one of the Saturday night casts. And I helped make some of the props that we used on our production in front of the screen. And that was just fun, because our thing with our cast was we wanted to be as screen accurate as we could be. It wasn't like we expected screen accuracy. We just encouraged everyone who's part of the cast to be as screen accurate as you could, to follow along and pantomime as well as you could what was on screen. Whereas some of the other casts were there strictly to have a good time, which we're all there to have a good time. The audience is there to have a good time. So there's nothing wrong with that. It was just the feeling that we had with our cast was to do this, and that was what I had interest in. So it was a lot of fun making the dinner table cloth with all the silverware sewed to it, so Frank could throw it on the floor and everything stayed attached. And I helped make some of the criminologist desk, and never did make handlebars for Eddie, but that was something else I thought about doing at one point. So that was fun. Fred Gilliland has got a good question that's come up a few times, asking me if I'd ever do a Michael Myers mask or something Punisher related. Okay. These are both really, this is one 2-part question that is actually really good. Will I ever do a Michael Myers mask? I could. Why is that I could? Why do I have a hesitation? Because by nature, by design, the Michael Myers mask is an over-the-head Halloween rubber mask. That's all it ever was with the original movie. And so this is weird, because this is contradicting to what I usually say. That is one where I would just go buy one. I could make one. But for a cosplay, I would still prefer to just go buy one. It might be fun if I could get a hold of a classic styled William Shatner Captain Kirk mask and then doctor that up to be as faithful as I could make it original Michael Myers mask. That could be fun. But to build one from foam from scratch, I'd just go buy one. and I know I had that discussion argument with commenters on occasion on my channel anyway, but that's one where, yeah, totally, $10, done. I just, how can I not? And it's going to be better than, well, I shouldn't say that anymore. I've gotten really good with making foam stuff, but I always felt like it was going to be better than what I would do out of foam. Would I do anything Punisher related? Punisher, for the most part, is his armory, right? I mean, he's got his vest, which is great. It's got the skull on it. He's got his look, and of course there's the Punisher War Machine mix-ups and a bunch of other stuff. So there are Punisher things that are possible to do, but for the most part, Punisher is his armory. Punisher is his armament. Punisher is his guns. There's one thing that the almighty YouTube algorithm hates is guns. Now, they allow it to happen, right? They won't say no. It's okay to have guns if you want to have guns, but you got to click that your video contains even a non-working replica fake gun, something that looks like a gun. You still have to tell YouTube, you're supposed to anyway, that you're doing that. And what happens is you get what's called restricted monetization. So there's monetized videos and there's demonetized videos. And we primarily hear about those, right? So you got the ones that make money and you got the ones that either haven't earned the right yet, haven't got the privilege yet, or are in trouble and put into the timeout corner and aren't allowed to make any money. So that's monetized and demonetized. Restricted monetized is, yeah, sure, you can do that. We're not going to tell anybody you did it, but you can do that. And that's all restricted monetized, which means as a person who's making YouTube videos as a means of living, this is all I do. This is my full-time job. I work a week to make a video and put the video out, and then whatever I make on the monetization of the video is what I earned for the week, right? That's the way it works. So knowing up front that pretty much any gun-related video is not going to earn any money, that's effectively working for a week for no pay at all. And not being able to recoup from that ever, except to make another video or double up. And so it makes it really hard to make anything that's especially a modern gun. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to work for a week and not get paid. So I don't have any plans on making any of the Punisher's guns. And if you look closely at the other videos I've done and some of the other video tutorials some of the other guys have done, a lot of it are science fiction weapons, which we can call blasters or phasers or something similar that doesn't use the magic gun word, because now it's not a gun. Because, you know, Darkwing Duck's gas gun, apparently that's okay because it's a gas gun. Hot glue gun is okay. A tape gun is okay, but a bullet gun is not. So I have no plans on making anything Punisher. Long story. It's a 2-hour live stream. I need to fill up the air. Richie Boone says, I've been making props since I was 4 years old, I think. I might have mixed those two people up, but yeah, pretty much. Prime Guy 98 is asking me if I've ever participated in a LARP. Yes, I played Vampire Masquerade back in the late 90s. That was fun. You know, rock, paper, scissors. Gun-shaped object. Yes, Stayplation 5. That is exactly... I know that is something that Adam Savage very specifically says, this is not a gun, it is a gun-shaped object. Yes, but the Doom shotgun, oddly enough, was still demonetized anyway. Even though it's PVC pipe, it is way over stylized, has way more going on, does not look like a real gun to me at all. It's got, it's too fanciful and weird. It's like Constantine shotgun, which would be a great thing to build. You know, the big crucifix shotgun, but I'm afraid to do it. Nathan Dyke is being really nice, saying, hi, Odin. I wanted to say that you also helped me through some of the worst times of my life. Well, thank you. Nathan, you're welcome. If I'm having a terrible day or I don't want to be around other people, I can always enjoy your videos. Thank you. You're very welcome, and thank you. Thank you very much. And I know I've had a few other people tell me that in the past, which is that's awesome. It really is. Thank you. That's Nora was telling me that as well. That helped her out with a lot of trouble that she's had in the past. So thank you guys. You're very welcome. And I appreciate that my desire to make stuff and put it out as a video helped provide some entertainment and provide some stability for you. I don't know how to put it. That's thank you. That's very cool. William Lightly is saying, when we make movie props for personal or for selling, do we need a special license? All right, so gray area of copyright. It's not very gray area at all. Punish Props has touched on this, and they're absolutely right. So I want to make the Aliens Pulse Rifle. I'm not going to, but I want to make the Aliens Pulse Rifle. Do I have permission to do it? No. Can I make the Aliens Pulse Rifle, make a monetized video, and make money on it without permission from 20th Century Fox? Technically, no. No. Because I don't have the rights to that property. Can I make any of the stuff behind me? No. I don't have the rights to any of that. The copyright holders for anything and everything that is behind me could come down on me and say something. However, there was this song that came out 20 years ago. Yes, I'm going to reference a pop song called Barbie Girl. And it had a game-changing ruling. Barbie Girl became a super popular song at the time. You know, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life is plastic, isn't it fantastic? Whatever the lyrics were. Mattel wanted a piece of the success of the Barbie Girl song because it was their product, Barbie. Well, the judge determined that you can't have a worldwide phenomenon, these are some of the words from the ruling, property like Barbie and not expect people to do tribute or to do things about that product. And that's really kind of the big line. So Aqua's song, which referenced Barbie Girl, which talked about it, which talked about, you know, but was never made to be a Barbie song. It wasn't a song written specifically to replace something existing, Barbie, made it okay. The ruling for this made it okay. I've got friends that had a Star Trek rock and roll band called Warp 11. I think warp11.com still works. They just played last September at a local place called Swabby's here in Sacramento. So they're still around, still putting out music. I built the Star Trek set for those guys. They built the Star Trek bridge set. I've talked about that before. That was all for Warp 11. They're able to do Star Trek songs, and they're solely Star Trek, and they say Star Trek all over the place, except on the covers of their albums, because of the ruling of this song. So cosplay, kinda in a gray area, falls under the same idea. Here it is, fans were making tribute to something because it affected us and we're huge fans of it. No, we don't have the rights to do it. No, we're not really technically able to make stuff and make commissions for building stuff for other people for doing it. But the ruling kind of states that as long as I'm not saying I made the pumpkin bomb from Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man, but I made my version of the pumpkin bomb from Spider-Man, that starts to be kind of okay. They can still pull the plug at any time they want. But the other thing is, of course, I think at this point in time, a lot of these property holders recognize that allowing the fans to have fun with the properties keeps the properties alive. And it just becomes additional marketing. So I think they also turn a blind eye to a lot of that as well, so long as you're not making millions like some of the Star Trek fan films actually started doing. So that was, what's the difference? How many zeros are in your check? That's what happened to Aqua, and that's what happened to the Star Trek fan films. Me rambling. If I'm wrong, please correct me. These are my musings and ramblings as collected throughout my misguided wanderings throughout this part of the planet that I'm stuck on. Nathan Rex says, Odin's over here admiring the fact that he's a criminal. As an artist thing to do, you've always had artists that would redo a master's painting as part of a learning process, right? So even from an artistic point of view, this has got history with somebody doing something that resembles something that's pre-existing. Is it being a criminal? Well, modern copyright, sure, I guess, but no. Yeah, Jozo says, Nintendo must have missed that message. Not necessarily. You see, I know Japan has got some of their own stuff that they do. What does that mean? I got to talk to a kaiju artist at one of the last cons I went to before the pandemic. And apparently, some of their big name cosplayers have to get permission from the rights holders to do the cosplays. So this, if I understood correctly, and I could be totally wrong, the way the culture set up there is you need to get permission to be able to do the cosplays, even though you're paying for it out of pocket. So that type of thing may bleed over from Nintendo to other things. And I know Valve has got a pretty solid grip on their IP because, if you noticed, I don't know if anyone else noticed, in Free Guy, you had references to all kinds of video games, right? It was the Avengers movies, not a video game. The Avengers movies. You had Fortnite. You had all, Modern Warfare. You had, all this stuff that was in the video, except the portal gun, which they still called a portal gun, wasn't the Valve portal gun. It worked exactly the same way. It made the same colors. It did the same stuff. It did. It also had the ability to be the gravity gun and move things around, which I guess the portal gun does as well. But it was more like Samus's arm cannon than the Aperture Science portal gun. Why? Because Valve definitely wants to keep control of their IP. Don't blame them, but. I thought it was neat that out of everything in the movie, that was the one thing I noticed that they did not get permission to use. Frickin' lightsabers in the movie. Stay Patient says, yeah, it's good PR and free advertising. Exactly. Daniel asks if I'll make the Ultron costume from What If. I liked the Ultron helmet from What If, not gonna lie. Yeah, I focus on the helmet. Not planning on it right now. Best answer. But I kind of liked Ultron. I always liked, you know, I liked it. It's not the best movie. Avengers 2 is not the best movie, but for some reason I watched that one a lot, and I did like that episode. So, John MVP is asking if I could make the beta capsule from the original Ultraman. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about that because Shin Ultraman's coming out, and the beta unit or beta capsule is definitely a good possibility, even though it's kind of a classic microphone body with stuff stuck on the end. It's a little more to it than that, but yeah. Yep, Schultz Division is saying we had a guy in Denmark who made the Lightning McQueen and Mater cars from the movie cars, the actual working cars from the way this comment sounds, and he got away with charging for rides in them because he changed their names. Yeah, exactly. To avoid copyright, you only have to change stuff a certain percentage. I don't remember what it is. I had somebody explain it to me once, and it's not much. So deviation is definitely a way of getting around copyright. Not that I'm trying to get around copyright. All right, puppets. It's 1 o'clock. I managed to ramble for quite a while now. That's awesome. So typically at 1 o'clock, it's fun for me to open up fan mail. I don't have any fan mail at the moment. That's okay, because I don't beg for fan mail every episode. If by some reason you think it might be fun to send me something to have me open it up on a live stream, there's a P.O. box listed in the description for this live stream, in the description of the video. That P.O. box, I do my damnedest to check every week. Half the time I get home, when I do get home, later than the post office is currently open because their hours changed. So there's times that I miss it. But if you want to send something, and I've had props, I've had artwork sent to me, I've had cookies sent to me. I'm happy to open that up on the live stream and share it all with you and have fun. So if you want to send fan mail, that's where you can send it. The P.O. box in the description of the video. And I like to open that up at the 1 o'clock, at the halfway point of the public live stream, which is right now. So hello to everyone who's joined me with my Odin Makes live stream. It's the top of the hour, and thank you for watching Odin Makes live stream. Hello, my name is Odin, and today I'm here with my co-host Felicia. Oh wait, Felicia's got the day off. I'm here all by myself, talking about, well, apparently my rough ideas on copyright and why my channel can exist, which I'm probably entirely wrong on, and working on puppets. Felicia and I are working on puppet versions of ourselves, or at least that was the original idea, because this has come through as a request a few times during the live streams. So far today I put on the back of the head and talked a lot. I want to start snipping out the nose. I'm just going to make like a teardrop nose that goes in the front. That'll have to be glued on after we get the fleece skin put on this puppet. But I can cut out the shape now so I can move ahead a little bit. So I want to work on that. And had another thought that I already kind of lost there. But that's what I'm currently making. Anyway, it's the weekly live stream, and thank you all very much for spending your Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, Monday morning, whatever time. It's really fun doing a live stream and knowing that I've got people all over the world watching, and time zones are a thing. So for me, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. For Trash Panda, he's on his way to work. It's Monday. Dan Does Junk says Felicia would look awesome in the Dragoon armor from Final Fantasy XIV. Yes, I bet she would. I don't remember what that armor looks like, but I'm sure she would. Kit Sun-kun 2 says there are many ways you can do unboxing videos, but this is how Odin does an unboxing video. It's exactly what it is. But, you know, it's fun because I don't know what's in the box. What's in the box? I don't know what's in the box. So, or envelope or whatever. I try to look a little bit before I show the camera, so I open it up and, oh, it is Gwyneth Paltrow's head. I don't want to show that to the camera. That's not going to happen. So keep in mind, if you do send something not safe for work, or if you do send something inappropriate, it's not going to get shared. You might get to see my reaction going, oh, yeah, it's one of those. And then have to set it aside. And sorry, guys, not going to show off that on camera. But I'm pretty sure that most of you who will go through the trouble of trying to send something in the mail, it's going to be something that'll be fun to share. So If you want to, please do. Artman 2019 has actually sent stuff. He sent me a pattern I ended up using for the Mandalorian helmet. And Dan Does Junk sent me, it was Dan, wasn't it? Sent me the snout piece for a Zaku helmet to go along with the Gundam cosplay, because there's a particular scene with the grandfather Gundam ripping the snout piece off of a Zaku. So, and Propway, right? Was that who? No. Who was it? Oh, that's rude. I'm sorry. Somebody just recently sent me the mask for the Plague Doctor mask from all the names are failing me. My Hero Academia, and I always wanted to call him one thing, but he's got a different name. But he's got the Plague Doctor mask. Somebody sent me their mask from their show, which I think is really awesome. And because of that, I'm thinking about making one. I haven't yet, but how come I can't think of the character's name? Probably because I've been talking for an hour and a half, and my brain is scrambled. Arlie Roth says that they made an Evil Dead chainsaw hand based off the Spirit's Halloween chainsaw. That's cool, because the Spirit's Halloween chainsaw, if I remember right, it's undersized, but everything in Spirits is undersized. It's got to be affordable. It has the ball chain, like for turning on a ceiling fan. It's got that runs around the outside, doesn't it? And then it's got just enough of a motor to make that move, and it makes all the rattling noises. So no, that'd be great. That'd be a great way to put together an Evil Dead chainsaw. John asked about the beta capsule again. I already said I was thinking about it. Overhaul. Thank you. I always called it Overwatch. Overhaul. That's the name of the character. I appreciate that, Sire 2. Asset protection. So YouTube name, a YouTube user called Asset Protection, chiming in at the end of my, I hope I'm skirting copyright okay and can continue to do my show speech, says, thank you, Odin. I love your show. They're entertaining and a wonderful display of your craftsmanship. Well, thank you, Asset. We'll continue to support and recommend. Says Brando M from Indiana. Well, thank you, Brando. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. That's cool. About ready to go down the support me on my channel. No, I'll just leave it with a really awesome compliment, because that's awesome. Thank you, sir. Liam Talbot says, hello, I'm so happy to be a sub. Well, thank you. I'm very happy that you're a subscriber as well, and thank you for chiming in and saying hi. Mason's Crafts is asking me what my next full cosplay project is going to be. We've got multiple ideas. And I think the next full cosplay project might be something more along the lines of like the Fallout costume. Not necessarily one where it's all in one video like Fallout was. It'll be a little more involved than that. But it'll be something more like that and not a giant robot suit. A giant robot suit's gonna happen. There's gonna be another giant robot. But right now, anything as big as Mechagodzilla or as big as Gundam isn't gonna happen until next calendar year. I'm gonna focus on getting some other props done. I've got some stuff to do that I've got an NDA. Woohoo! I've made it to NDA land. I've got an NDA that I need to get some stuff built for, and I'm doing all that throughout the rest of this month, in addition to putting out weekly videos. So there's no plan right now to do another big costume build. But yeah, we've talked about Zaku. We've talked about a number of other giant robot. It'll probably be a robot. It may not, but it'll probably be a robot because I like mechs. Joe likes mechs. It's a lot of fun to build mech suits. So, Odinus Prime. Hello, I'm Odinus Prime. Prop makers, roll out. Team Ghost says, Odin, if I could, I would have said something, and I would. Thank you, Team Ghost. I'm not trying to beg for stuff to be sent in. That's not the point. It came up a few times that people asked if they could send in fan art or wanted to send in something. Where could they send it? Well, I got the PO box to put for my registrar for having my .com domain name, which yes, there is an odinmakes.com. There's no website right now. It just redirects to YouTube, but there will be. And so that's why I've got a PO box. And so I've just started using that to receive mail too. Don't worry about it. I don't fancy myself the type of channel that requires or needs, I need people to send me stuff or I won't be validated. No, it's all fine. The P.O. box is empty most of the time, and that's fine. That's all good. It's fun. It's fun to go and check it. Oh, is something going to be here? But yeah. Yeah, Kit Circun 2 says, yeah, chicks dig giant robots. Yeah. I know Voltron came up as a possibility. There's a lot of things that could be a lot of fun. Johnny Tomero says, yo, from Brooklyn. Love watching your videos. Thanks for keeping us entertained. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you chiming in and saying so. Arlie Ross says, yeah, so what did on my Evil Dead chainsaw? Talking about how Arlie made an Evil Dead chainsaw from Spirit's chainsaw. So we did it in their Evil Dead chainsaws, removed the handle from the Spirit's chainsaw, then cut a circle to fit my hand, and then I used the switch on the PVC pipe and made to be careful of the wires. Okay, cool. So your hand fit inside of the Spirit chainsaw? That's awesome. I was picturing that you had to use that like next to your hand. It's been a while. I remember seeing a couple of chainsaws that were really flat. That were a propped kind of a toy chainsaw. The Spirit's better than that, so they probably have a better shape than that. Like their proton pack is really cool. It's undersized, but it's really cool. Liam is asking me if it's night where I am. No, it's 1 in the afternoon. As soon as live stream's over, I'm gonna have lunch. Schultz Division is saying you'll get my fan art digital. That's great. I'm all good. I'm all good for that. We actually have a work in progress and promote yourself threads within the Odin Makes Discord. Oh, hey, by the way, if you don't know, there's an Odin Makes Discord. To get on the Discord, it's one of the lowest levels for my patrons. So Discord is set up as one of the Patreon perks. So every member of the Discord is also a Patreon, and not only are they able to talk to each other and talk to me and Felicia and Joe all throughout the week, but there's places where you can share what you're working on, you can share what you have worked on. There's recently been some pets put up, so there's a whole thread where you can share pictures of your pets. So yeah, it's fun. There's the Minecraft channel because just last month, right? Well, yeah, that was 3 days ago. The Odin Makes Minecraft server finally opened up. So it's a private Minecraft server for another level of Patreon support that gets you free access to that. Well, it's not free, but you get access to that. So it's fun. I think it's fun. I've played way too much Minecraft recently. The whole first 45 minutes of this live stream was Patreons only. Was pretty much me talking about Minecraft. But of course, that was the right audience to talk to, right? At that point in time, the first 45 minutes, which all of you who joined in at noon when I went public don't get to see. If you're watching this later on as a playback, you got to see it. Yeah, they're all there and can run around and see the goofy stuff that I'm building and that other people have built. So it's been a lot of fun. Will I ever make anything from Star Wars: The High Republic? I'll need to... Is it the video game or the upcoming stuff? I love Star Wars. Star Wars is one of the things that got me going with props. So yeah, probably. I'll just need to see something that either really stands out or to me, or inspires me. So Benny was here. Hello, stream. Hello, Benny. Speaking of Star Wars, Hoth Survivor says, can you make an original Power Rangers helmet using foam and clasps? Foam and clasps, possibly. Was talking about doing an original Power Rangers helmet. I've got the awesome intro that I had some friends help me put together for the mighty Foam and Odin Makes, Power Rangers, for the one Power Rangers prop I built so far, the Red Sword. Want to use that intro again. Gonna make more Power Ranger stuff. Felicia and I are already talking about making Pink Ranger stuff. So yeah, I think Mighty Morphin Power Ranger helmet foam build is on the horizon. Definitely something that's going to be happening. Not imminently, but yeah, you will eventually see a Power Rangers helmet on Odin Makes. I got asked, what is this thing on the table in front of me? Well, last stream, Felicia and I started making foam puppets of ourselves. And so, so far on this stream, I've talked about that. I've added a little bit to the inside of the mouth, so I got a little bit better grip for my fingers. So on the inside plate of the mouth, I've got speed bumps that I can put my fingers up against to hold on to. I cut the back of the mouth a little bit better, so it's got better flappage. It closes all the way and makes a better noise. And then I did the back of the head, which I think this is all I need to do to the back of the head. Everything below this, I mean, I could put a hint of a jaw. Maybe I should put a hint of a jaw. No, I should. Otherwise, he's going to look like, you know, the Fozzie, the other Muppets, or like Cookie Monster, where it's just fabric. So maybe I need to put, you know, a banana right here, and to give a hint of a jaw. And then, but you want to have fabric so you've got all the movement to be able to let the jaw open and close. So yeah, maybe I should make this really quick. But then I wanted to be able to get this to where I could start skinning it with fabric next week, so I could move on, because I'm not really good at talking and crafting at the same time. My brain seems to do one or the other. The ability to speak interrupts the ability to be creative, in the sense here. Xander's asking for RoboCop props. I've looked at RoboCop's helmet a number of times. I've really enjoyed reading Rob Bottin, right? Yeah, talking about making the original RoboCop suit and all the noxious, toxic chemicals and things they had to go through to make that suit work with the stuff they had available at the time. And that the fact that the original RoboCop suit is 2 suits. You know, not counting whatever undersuit that Peter Weller is wearing, there is a foam latex suit that gives all the mobility, and so all the joints that are shiny and black, they're all part of that foam latex suit, so he can actually move. And then on top of the foam latex suit is a secondary semi-rigid suit that's all the blue armor pieces, all the metallic blue parts. That's a whole secondary set of materials, and that was the stuff that was horrendous to cast. In order to get the paint to stick and to be the automotive colors they are, they had to do some serious safety precautions in the shop when they're trying to put the movie together. So that was a fun read. I used to get a magazine called Cinefex, which was only interviews with the guys that would make the props, make the makeups, make the matte paintings, right? It was a technical magazine for the people in Hollywood who were making the movies. And it was available to everybody. It wasn't like strictly technical. But that's all that the magazine would interview. It wasn't a lot of behind the scenes stuff. They're talking to the stars as they sit in the director's chair and sip coffee and what's it like making the movie. Which, that's behind the scenes. Legitimately it is. That's just not the behind the scenes I'm interested in. I like the guys that are sculpting up stuff out of clay and how do they make the molds work. And so that's why I really enjoyed Cinefex magazine, because they only talk to those guys. Dan Does Junk says, RoboCop's car! I'm sure you got plenty of black plastic dip already. You just need a Ford Taurus. Yeah, RoboCop's car. Same thing, same Cinefex magazine, talking about how horribly toxic the chemicals were to make the suit. They had a Hollywood car company, specially design and make the future RoboCop patrol vehicle, right? Whatever the police cruiser was going to be. And so, of course, you know, you got to make it future and you stick all this stuff on it, right? I do it too. It's just what happens when you're trying to make something that looks fantastical and future. It kind of goes absurd a little bit. Totally, I've done that more than once. You know that. Well, the car got delivered on set. It had been approved, right? Like the director had seen it, the producers had seen it, they had approved the designs, but when it finally arrived on set, the crew literally laughed at it. And so at that point, the director's looking at it and looks over at the producer and says, we can't use this. If the crew is going to laugh at it, we can't use this in the movie. It's going to ruin the movie. And during this quick little conversation of what are we going to do? We got this car we can't use. The brand new Ford Taurus, first year this vehicle has ever been out, drove by. And the director said, go rent me one of those. We'll paint it black and put police lights on top of it. Done. And that's literally what they did. That day, because they had to shoot the cruiser scenes that day, they went and rented a Ford Taurus. They went to a rental company and rented it, and then drilled holes in the roof, attached the bubble lights, the police bubble lights to it, spray painted it black, and stuck their stickers on it to a rental. Yeah, Hollywood movies got respect for stuff. No, I have no idea how that panned out in the end. I imagine they got the insurance for it. But they were able to get a car that day and shoot, which was the most important thing on a production, right? It would cost more to have to delay everyone's salary, all the time being set up with the expectation of doing this car for another day would cost more than paying to fix or replace the rental car later. Hoth Survivor is asking me if I have ever made Ice Climber's mallet or the Glovatrix from SWAT cats. Wow, there's something I haven't heard about in a long time. No, I haven't. I have not made any of those. And honestly, I'm not really well versed in SWAT cats. I know of SWAT cats, but I really haven't seen maybe one episode. I haven't seen there. Daniel Jastin's asking me if there's any new props from the movie Dune that I might want to make. Yeah, I know SKS Props just did the Fremen rebreather from the still suit. Man, I love the original Bob Ringwood still suits from the David Lynch Dune. The new still suits look good too, although the Entertainment Weekly pictures, I couldn't get over the plastic knuckled work gloves that they're using in the still suits. I mean, you're on a large scale movie. You need to produce, hundreds. Probably not that many, it might be dozens, of still suits from the movie. You're not going to want to make custom-made gloves, and they might have for the movie. But what I see are the plastic knuckle protectors and stuff from work gloves and being repurposed for the still suits. And that little detail was really hard for me to get past. Obviously, I'm still talking about it. Anyway, the still suits are great. I actually wouldn't mind making a Chris knife, the tooth of the dune worm. Wow, it's just a worm, a sandworm from the original David Lynch. That would be kind of cool. I joked when I was at DIY Prop Shop about making a thumper, and the producer says, "Oh, I'd love that." The internet wouldn't care for it at all, but to make the original thumping device to call the worm, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, maybe now that there's a new movie that could work. Gabriel Loringer asks if I ever made anything from Mario. Well, if you look on my channel and sort by date released, you'll notice that the first full video I actually put out, I think I had a teaser for DIY Prop Shop with Marceline's axe, was the very first thing I posted. But the very first is a blue turtle shell from Mario Kart. So yes, I have. And then I've also made the green pipe for Smosh, for Mario to pop out of. It was actually a physical prop because, which one of them? Anthony had, right? Or was it Ian? It's been a while, I don't remember which. Anyway, the Smosh Wraps video, which is where I made the blue shell first, and then I made the green Mario pipe because we had to have it on set for him to be able to stand on it. And I've made a fire flower for Link to use with video games in real life. And I've used, not that Link uses a fire flower, but my memory put those two together, I think because they're on the thumbnail. I did make, I bought pottery and then weakened it and attached it to the tabletop in such a way that Ian could walk in dressed as Link and break pots looking for rubies, while the shopkeeper's like, "What are you doing?" So I have. First season Hoth Survivor, exactly. Schultz Division. Liam Telbo is asking me, what is my smallest prop? Okay, well, on the channel, probably the Noisy Cricket. I 3D printed the Noisy Cricket with a resin printer that I got, and that's probably the smallest prop I actually made for my channel. The smallest prop replica that I made for use in a video ever. That was a legitimate prop that wasn't specifically a miniature, which even then, I don't think I made any miniatures as a prop smaller than that. I've made tabletop miniatures that are smaller. I made Corbin Dallas's matchbox from the Fifth Element. You know, he's got that little box of matches and it has the design on it, and he rattles it, and he's got like one match left he has to use to open up the elements of the stones, well, the fire element. Smosh needed a matchbox for something. And so on a whim, I looked that up in the movie and redid the art to have the twin moon, you know, Hawaii sunset graphic that's on it. and so that was probably the smallest actual prop that was used in a Smosh video. I don't remember which one, because it wasn't important. Oh, I also made, possibly smaller, they did a thing about the iWatch when the first iWatch came out. Smosh again, right? So first year, iWatch comes out. I'm saying that right? That's what they called it. I don't have one, so I don't know. They needed one. And all they had was preliminary promotional drawings of what the iWatch is going to look like, which included sizes, because it's marketing. They want to make sure that people get excited about the two different sizes watches they have, so you know that one was 50 millimeters tall and the other one's 35 millimeters tall. So using that, I sculpted and scratch built a dummy replica of an iWatch, cast that in resin, made 2 or 3 versions, and one of them had a magnet face on it, so you could pop the faux display off and you could magnetize another display back on it. So I had one that had like contacts on it. I had one that had some other image on it. I had one that just had a motion tracking target on it. So you could put it on there so they could get the close-up, and the motion tracking targets was built into the prop. They didn't have to do it on set. And I made one that had dick butt on it. So, which that one's actually in the behind the scenes where Ian's having a lot of fun with the iWatch going, what's that, dick butt? You're calling? You're in trouble? So, you know, that was fun. That was a very small prop and possibly smaller than the Matchbox. Certainly more involved. Graboid tongues would be kind of cool. You know, I love the fact that William Shakespeare on his channel made a full graboid, right? He made a scale model, but they made a quarter scale model for making the movie. So it's still a prop replica. A graboid tongue would be kind of cool. And they are basically big puppets. I mean, they made different graboid tongues to do different things depending on what the shot was, right? There were ones that were animatronic puppets that had a series of wooden discs that were aligned together on a piece of flexible tubing, and then you just run the same way I made the fingers collapse for the Right-Handed Doom, where you've got a cable that goes out to the end and comes back. So if you pull on that cable and shorten the length of the cable, it causes the tentacle to curl in that direction. And you can go in 2 different directions at once to kind of get the tentacle to go in any direction. This is literally how a lot of those work. And then you can do those in stages in order to get more articulation out of a puppetry tentacle. So you have the very tip with the 18 inches, 24 inches, however long that is. That's the first diameter with a set of cables. And then you get a secondary set of cables that becomes the next slightly wider portion of the tongue tentacle. This is the Blob 80s remake was made with puppet tentacles as well, same way. So you get 2 different puppeteers working their section, and you're able to get a tentacle that can curl in on itself that way. Anyway, but in Tremors, there is actually a hand puppet one. So there's times that it isn't this animatronic tentacle. It is literally just a hand puppet. It's a sock puppet made to look like a graboid tongue. Mason was trying to ask me what my opinion is on salamanders. They're cool. I've always liked reptiles and amphibians. I've always found them neat. It was always fun to hold frogs and talk to them and then let them go. I've never wanted to keep any as pets. I had a tarantula as a pet when I was a kid. But they're cool. I mean, they're neat. I like them. I don't dislike them. I don't have any. I have an axolotl in Minecraft now, and I built a big tank for him in my base, which is that one's really kind of fun because I don't feel guilty for sticking him in a tank because he's a digital axolotl anyway. I still make sure that I gave him like plants and there's a hatch so you can feed him and stuff because, you know, he needs to be a happy digital axolotl. But wow, there's a new Babylon 5 series announced. I missed that. The Oculus 2003 is letting me know with the new Babylon 5 series announced, any plans for a classic B5 prop. Really? They got a new series announced. I need to go look that up after the stream. That's cool. I liked Babylon 5. And I was in a weird position when Babylon 5 came. Not when it came out, but later on. I worked for a company called Play Incorporated. This comes up many times in the live streams. It was a high-tech company. They made video gear. It was one of the first real big video companies that I worked for. They weren't that big. They thought they were bigger than they were. And they were pretty big for a minute. But they're not around anymore. That's how big they were for the minute. Actually, I think their technology became the TriCaster that's still available. But the president of Play Incorporated was friends with, now I'm getting my stories mixed. Well, they were still friends. We're friends with the producers for Babylon 5, and they got to be on set. I think Kiki was on an episode. Kiki was the technological evangelist, the spokesperson for Play, because Babylon 5 was using Lightwave, which was a 3D program created by NewTek, who was Play was a spin-off of people who wanted to do stuff with a PC from NewTek, who was still only making stuff using the Amiga, because that was the time period. So Babylon 5 was using Lightwave, and they had made specialty programming things just to help B5 to be able to make their ships. Like there was no easy way to create a three-dimensional pipe that went from point A to point B in space. Just like the really old screensaver that was just pipes that come flying at you on Windows. There was no tool to do just that in Lightwave easily. You were building a bunch of primitives and sticking them together, and it was very labor-intensive and time-consuming. So they made what they called a NERNI tool that would literally just create a vector from point A to point B, and you could create the turns that you wanted in this point-to-point line connection, and then you would assign a radius value to how thick the line was, and that was it. And that helped a lot with the design of the ships. So that was fun. So anyway, Babylon 5 I enjoyed. I liked the show. It was neat. I liked the budget-conscious aspect of the show. That everything in every set was reused from another set. The Expanse is very similar in that way. It's, you know, trying to do as much as they possibly can with what they've got. And I need to watch the rest of The Expanse. That's cool. Camera looks out of focus, or is it just me? Does it? I tried to focus the camera. I hope not. I know that the streaming can cause it to become soft. All right. Let's see. We will go, not that I can fix it. So I'll get myself a full screen example, put my focus on, and from my perfect eyes, my t-shirt looks pretty good. No, that looks like it should be in focus for my face. I have a focus card to help me set up for focus when I'm shooting because I'm the only one here. So there's nobody here to focus on. So I've got a focus card to help with that. $5 focus card from Amazon. But it's probably just compression, streaming compression. I've gotten warning on my end that the kilobytes going out aren't optimal for YouTube. There's somewhere between my building and the encoders for YouTube, there is a squeeze in the pipe of the internet. So it's not, because as far as I know, the ping here in the building, what we've got here locally is good and strong. So it's happening outside of the building, as far as I know. I am not a IT guy. So Let's see. Do I think I'll make a Dick Tracy watch? Probably not. Dick Tracy is classically is really cool, and I love the fact that the Dick Tracy watch became real. But that's one of those make a video, and probably I wouldn't expect the Dick Tracy watch to do terribly well. Which is not fair, but it is literally a choice I have to make, a thing I have to think about. So I want to make a prop next week. Whatever prop I make next week is also how I'm going to get paid next week. So I need to balance what I want to make versus what's going to get watched, so I can actually make my ends meet. And in my opinion, the Dick Tracy watch has got a low return on that. So just like making a gun and getting demonetized, it's got a low return on that. So Dick Tracy watch, while a possibility, it's probably a low possibility. Groot is saying something awesome I can't even possibly pronounce, but yeah, what Groot said. Liam's asking me if I like Crash Bandicoot. Never played it. I like the absurdness of it. I like the Tex Avery cartoon aspect of Crash Bandicoot, and I like the character designs, but I've actually never played, so I don't have an opinion. Ahoy, ahoy! Data North. Odin, can you make my armor, please? Dorian McKevley. For the same reason of trying to get a video out every week and doing the monetized thing, I don't do commissions because, and I'm running into that right now with trying to do effectively a commission for this NDA project that I've got. The time isn't there. It is getting a prop put together, getting it written, getting it produced, and getting it out on Wednesday every week is way more than a single person job. And it's not even just me doing it at this point, right? I got Ellis helping me with editing. And Felicia comes in and helps me with the live streams typically. Because the live stream happens every week too, right? So that's a big hunk of Sunday that I can't work on the weekly video. Because it isn't just the time that I'm live streaming. If I'm doing something on the table, and I was, but the mess on the table kind of worked with this project, so I didn't worry about it. The table needs to be cleared off so Felicia and I can do the live stream. And then if I need to go back to what I was doing, whatever I was doing needs to kind of come back. Continuity in that sense isn't that important to me. I don't need to have the same mess on the table throughout the whole video. But there's still the setup and tear down and set up again. Time take, as well as the cameras get set up differently. The audio gets set up differently for doing a live stream of Felicia. I'm currently wearing the microphone I typically wear when I'm writing my video, when I'm doing my videos, right? So I've got the wireless lav on me, which is the same type of lavalier that style of microphone, the tie clip microphone that a lot of news people wear or other TV people will wear, and that works great for just me. But this microphone sounds horrible when Felicia's just over here talking. And that's why I've got a different microphone set up for the two of us. Even though it's still got kind of a hollow room sound, it does a way better job of catching both of us than just this mic does. So it's all this setup stuff that makes it really hard to do something Sunday morning, stop so I can do the live stream really quick, and then stop that, and then go back to what I was doing. That's too much start and stop for me. It's just live stream happens, then I can continue. Oh, cool. Groot's letting me know that it's have a nice evening, is what he was saying. It was meant for his Norwegian friend that's here in the stream. Sweet. Thank you. Liam is asking me if Felicia is my wife. No, Felicia is just a really good friend I've known since we both worked at Smosh. So I've known Felicia for years. Felicia and I are both married, but not to each other. We're both married to other people. So yeah, Felicia's not my wife. LBMX King says, I made the pickaxe for one of your videos. It was very funny and very hard, and for the week goes, I enjoyed it very much. Well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed my pickaxe build. So, one of the things I wanted to do in this stream also was try and get a nose made. I talked about doing this piece too. Which piece do I want to do? So I got this gray foam. This is left over from brains all over the place. It's lunchtime. This is a denser gray foam used for electronics. This is what's used in camera cases, right? It's padding for your gear. This is a leftover from hard drives, I think. But I thought I would use that to make the nose. I just need to make it not be a blocky nose. And this is much denser than this foam, which is the couch foam, I call it. Do I want to make the chin piece for the couch foam, the part of the lower jaw that gives a shape? I think maybe I do. So that, could I make the nose while Felicia's here? That'd be an easy thing to do next week. Part of the fun of doing the live stream builds is to only do the build during the live stream. We've joked and teased about that a couple of times, but really over the year now that we've been doing this, that is absolutely what happens. We try to do the entire process while talking during a live stream only, and not doing it not baking the cake, and surprise, the souffle's done perfectly, as cooking shows typically do. Trying not to do that behind, in addition. Wow, that's actually 34 centimeters to go all the way around the lower lip. Alrighty. So what I need to make, kind of like I did before, where I had the gore shapes. There's those bullet shapes. Like you look at the way a beach ball, an inflatable beach ball is put together. I look at those things. You may not, or how the top of a paper globe is done, and they've got that particular kind of shape. I'm going to be doing something very similar, I think, to the bottom jaw here. Just give it a little more goings on. Let's flop this on the other side of the table. Make sure I don't spill my duct tape tea. So thank you very much, J. Period, for making me the duct tape tea koozie here. So this is a 4mm HD foam with real duct tape, and it's actually very accurately shaped to be able to fit over a paper cup. In this case, it's a Dixie paper cup, so it's actually still not something that really has to be overly Greeked out and hidden. And I believe Jay said he actually went out and got a cup of popular coffee just to be able to get a pattern for this shape. So because of this, Joe finally got the idea what I was trying to talk about for making a merchandise duct tape coffee mug. And he put together the graphics, and at the very top of this comment section, I pinned hey, you can get your very own duct tape coffee mug from Teespring. So because I do actually have some t-shirts and coffee mugs and things on Teespring. So let me plug my merch. Please support my channel. Go buy your very own duct tape coffee mug. And then when watching Odin Makes live stream, you can enjoy an actual cup of duct tape coffee. Because duct tape coffee isn't a brand name. Doesn't matter what goes in the cup. Once it's in the cup, it's duct tape coffee. Please, for the love of God, don't drink unleaded gasoline. One of the things we had to do all the time on Smosh was Greek the labels. It's just a term. Because Smosh was always monetized, they were always either a monetized channel, that's a great noise, or they would have sponsored videos, usually from movies and video games. And when you've got a sponsored video like that, especially at the size that channel was, you couldn't have other brand names that were within the video. It's not like that's a written rule. It's just what's done because you're making your video for Krampus because the movie's coming out. We did a really weird video because the Krampus movie came out. Well, during that video, we had to Greek out the brand names of the potato chips and the brand names of the sodas that had to be on set because they were the joke from maybe crossing, but we had to hide those names. And so to interrupt what the logo is, to make it not a proper, it's called Greeking. And so duct tape coffee is an easy way to Greek out. Greek out with us. Whatever the brand name is, the coffee that Felicia grabs on her way in. I said 34 centimeters, so what I want to do, let's go back to our frying pan shot. What I want to do is, I've got the 18-inch ruler, so this goes up to 46 centimeters. And I got a dot, and I'll put another dot at 34 centimeters. There we are. And then we'll put a dot at 17, because that's halfway. And then halfway of 17 is going to be what, 8.5? So let's do one at 8.5. And then, because I'm going to fail on math, I'll move the ruler. And oh, look, here's 8.5 again. Now what I want to do is cut out a banana shape that goes from the point out to the thickest point and then back down again. And that is something I'm going to have to just guess on. How much lower jaw do I want to make? Probably not a whole lot, because it needs to be able to move. It needs to look okay. I think 5 centimeters is probably going to be fine. So I want to go 5 centimeters at the middle. So I'll set this at the 2.5 mark. So it's not going to be a very, very big piece, but that's okay. So I got 2.5 and 5. I got 0. It's at 2.5 and 5. Now the halfway point, you don't want to do halfway, because then you're just making a diamond, right? It needs to be this more of a softer curve. So this needs to be about 2/3 of 5, which is, let me just throw in a fraction of 5. Great. Okay, so half is 2.5. So how many? 1.5 is roughly 1/3. So 2/3 is going to be about 3 3/4. Yeah, 3 3/8, something like that, or 1 3/8 is roughly 1/3. Right? Yeah, because 2 is, yeah, 1 3/8. 1 3/8 and 1 3/8 is 2 3/8, and another 1 3/8 is going to be 4. So that's not going to work. Okay, well, let's make it 1 5/8, right? 1 5/8 was going to be 3 and 2/8, and then another 1/8 is, that's getting really close to 5. So yeah, so we get like 1 5/8 of a centimeter. So I'll go 1, and that's 17 millimeters. So 34 millimeters. 17 millimeters and 34 millimeters. This ruler has a wire in it, so I'm trying to bend it. I mean, I could use the hip curve. That's what I did before. Probably should just use the hip curve. So that's my point, and that's my point. So what I want to do is now carefully cut this in half, and I can turn the piece around and use the cutoff piece to trace the other side to keep it symmetrical. See comments saying, may I ask? Of course you can. I will get to the comments in just a second. I'm currently creative brain, because I can either creative brain or I can video host brain. I don't really seem to be able to do both at the same time. Even though the lower half, I changed the angle, I can see that with the way I cut it. It's going to be close enough. If I needed to be super, super accurate to my line, I'd want to turn this whole other piece over. So where I drew the first line is where I'm drawing my second line. This is going to be close enough. And I got a dot that shows me where the middle is, so I know where that goes. Am I getting it? It's starting to... You got lock, shock, and... No, it wasn't lock, shock, and barrel. It's a haunted toy is what I'm thinking of. And... No, I'm not getting the shape I want. I mean, I am, but I'm not. This isn't... I'm not getting the curl I kind of wanted. All right. Well, I could do that. What if I was to... What if I was to glue this on and then glue a bit of rounded foam dowel behind it? So if I do that and then glue a round dowel and force this to roll over, well, I can always just, what if I cut darts in the thickness on this end? Not on the outside, but on the inside. So I do darts. That's the things where you do this type of a thing. Maybe the pair of scissors where the tips cut. So I'm taking, right, so this is the outside. It's still flat. On the inside I do this. So then I glue it together and that'll cause it to curl in, right? Reduce the mass. Should have plugged in my hot glue gun. Or not plugged in, I use a battery operated one. Well, obviously I don't want to make darts that big then. So if that's glued on, and then I cause these to squeeze together. No, it's not quite going to work the way I want it to. It looks neat. Really hoping for something a bit more rounded than I'm getting here. Rebel Base Build. Hey, sweet, James is here. Hello, love the tea. Thank you, Rebel Base Build. Yeah, Kaiju Magazine. I was in issue 2 with my Mechagodzilla build. It was really cool. Groot says, I always pour acid into my cup because Odin says it was coffee. Yeah, exactly. So Groot's got a fun question. May I ask why you always speak in centimeters during prop making? Because otherwise you tend to use inch, right? Not complaining, just happily confused. They're just different systems, right? And I know that the majority of the people watching are accustomed to metric and not to this, backwater imperial system, as Ralph was saying, the imperial system, which is all fraction based, which makes so much wonkier to use. I've just started. After a lifetime of just using Imperial, because that's what was here. I remember the big Metric is Coming campaign they had in the 80s, and then Reagan got afraid of it and squashed it. That's my memory of it anyway. I could be wrong. So it never got a chance to take a hold in America like it should have. I don't mind it. It's great. It's much easier with calculators. It's fantastic in that sense. I don't need to know that 1.625 is 1 5/8 inch. Just annoying. Besides, you get decimal equivalents of a fraction. 5/8 is a specific amount of something. 0.625 is a decimal equivalent. Thankfully, that one ends without having trailing digits, so that one's pretty accurate. But some of those fractional equivalents you do have a repeating number, which means the number is a close approximation. Meanwhile, 17 millimeter, period. Doesn't matter if it's 1.7 centimeters or 0.17 meters, it's 17 millimeters. So, cool. Radeon 500 says, likes the progress so far. Thank you. Faye Small wants to know if I can make the arms of Doc Ock for the Raimi series of Spider-Man. Always looked at that. I have been a fan of the Doc Ock arms. I like the Raimi Spider-Man. I'm seeing my time is actually getting close to up. Maybe I will stop with this guy and I'll work on this idea a little more next week, because the preliminary thing that I'm getting here, I'm not liking. I mean, it could work, I suppose. Give him a big old strong chin, but it's a little that's not working for me. You know, well, okay, what if I was a glue? I did this a lot in the puppetry class, where I take a shape and you start kind of folding it around, seeing how it's going to shape when you glue it together. It's like, well, what if I take the shape and put some glue in the back and kind of roll the sides over? Will I get a little more of a chin shape out of it? Maybe. That's a little better. That was kind of what I wanted. Maybe the idea of gluing a bit of a round HD foam dowel on the inside of this thing after it's glued onto the chin will work. I think I'm going to hold on to this and have something to do first thing next week when Felicia shows up, because Sunday at noon next week is going to be the next live Odin Makes streaming, where we slowly work on a project and mostly talk to you and share stories of our past and answer questions and hang out and have a good time. The live streams are definitely one of the highlights of my week, because I get a chance to talk to all of you. I get a chance to talk in a very public way to all the members of my Patreon who want to chime in and watch. I get a chance to talk to brand new people I've never talked to before. It's actually very enjoyable. It is amazing to me that my hobby and interest for building something has gotten to the point that I can talk to somebody from India and we're both excited to do it. It seems simple enough, but I grew up pre-internet, so it's still really fun for me to think that this is the way this works. I'll look at this really quick here. Hoss Survivor is asking me if I will think about doing a Star Fox puppet like from Star Fox Zero. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm familiar with Star Fox, but Liam says it's okay, Odin. You can say the Imperial does not make sense. Right? It doesn't. No, totally. No. We may as well measure things in dozens, because it's easier to divide dozens up into multiple divisional fractions than it is tens, right? Because you hit dozens, you can half a dozen, you can do, 4 people get 3 of something, 3 people get 4 of something, 1 person gets 6, two people get 3. It works out really well. Whereas with tens, you start running into halves. As soon as you get 4 people need an equal amount of stuff anyway. Yeah, so fractions become a thing, and that's why Imperial is really weird. And I think also partly why fractions were such a major part of, literal fractions of my math learning. I'm sure they still teach fractions. Oh, hey, I'm on the wrong camera. I'm sure they still teach fractions because it's a common thing. But the Imperial measuring system is... And then it's really fun knowing that which tick mark you're looking at. Oh, that's 13/16. Yeah, that's a real tick mark on my measuring tape. It doesn't list that, but that's what that little line means. That is 13/16, because you can't make it any smaller than that numerically. 14/16. So that's 3/4. Sure, because fractional math. Anyway. So it is 2 o'clock. I've got a train rumbling by outside. I'm trying to look to see what are the comments I've got. But there's only been a couple of live streams where I've tried to do the whole thing by myself. And this worked out. I had some anxiety. Not going to lie, I've always had stage fright for public speaking. But talking to a camera is a lot easier because you're not actually here in the room with me. But it's fun. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Nora, who dropped in as a moderator for the channel really quickly. I imagine she is still watching, just silently. I hope so. So hello to you, Nora. And for all of you who stuck with me to the end, I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate your comments, your questions. Letting me know there's a new Babylon 5 series coming out, reminding me that the Venom movie just got released. I'm going to... Cool, Ralph says it was a great time like always. Immediately after the stream, for all my patrons who want to know, immediately after the stream, I'm going to start making lunch. So probably by about 2:30, I want to jump on Minecraft and eat my lunch. So I'll be on there. I'll try and be on the voice chat for a little while. I gotta limit that because I'm going to get going on other video stuff. I got more work to do for more upcoming videos later today, so I can't burn the rest of the day on Minecraft, even though I could totally do that. But I want to thank all of you. I want to seriously thank the patrons. I say this in the beginning, and I literally mean this. The patrons pay for the show. The show would not be possible if it wasn't for the support of my patrons over on Patreon, because I'm not doing this out of my house. I do this from a shop where I'm paying rent, and I'm able to pay the rent because of my Patreon support. So all of you, thank you very, very much. Super appreciate that. All of you who are watching and who have subscribed or just come back and watch the videos on a regular basis, that is a super helpful thing too. So don't feel like I'm alienating you who is a viewer who isn't a patron. The fact that you're watching is awesome. Thank you all very much. And I know there's going to be lots of different ways that you can run a live stream all by yourself and try to make a Pac-Man puppet and call it yourself. But this is how Odin streams. So I want to thank you guys. Felicia will be back next week for the patrons. We'll be right here at 11:15 a.m. next Sunday, and we'll switch the stream over to being a public stream at noon. This is my time in California, Pacific Standard Time. Will be open for the last 2 hours to everybody else. So please adjust the timing for wherever you are on this lovely little rock that we're on as we spin our way through space. But thank you all very much. I'm going to have some throat coat chamomile tea and some lunch. All right. Bye-bye.